Now, say my name.
Heisenberg.
You're goddamn right.
All right, guys, here we go. You asked for it. Live from Las Vegas, doing my show. I guess this is kind of really a Access Vegas show. When I'm in Vegas, it might as well be. Right? Anyways, here's your midweek stream. I have Michael Sartain, and I have Gary Grinberg.
Gary numbers guy, whatever you want to call him.
There you
bro.
go. Gary the numbers guy.
The original G.
Has actually flown out here and answered the call. Thank you for doing that. The first thing I want to tell you is thank you for being the first one to take this challenge, because a lot of people have a problem with me, and I'm not saying you do, but like a lot of people have a problem with me, and they always want these debates, and I'm like, okay, fine. Here's a place that we can come and have a formalized debate. Let's do it. You're the first person to answer the call, so.
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. Being a coward is nowhere to live life.
Can you give my audience a little bit of your background first? Okay. We got to introduce you. So
first of all, a lot of you guys in I'm assuming Red Pill might know what astrology is, and you guys understand that chicks do this stuff and they say Libra, Mercury, and it sounds like a bunch of gibberish, and it sounds like a bunch of bullshit, to be honest. But see, if you have a car and you put a woman in the car and she can't drive a stick and this car doesn't move, you don't blame the car, do you? You blame the practitioner. So I'm basically here to tell you guys, all that astrology nonsense you heard in the past, I'm here to set the record straight. Because what you're looking at is the first person in their profession who's ever been invited to the White House under the Trump administration. And we'll go more into my history a little bit later.
Are you the official astrologer for the Trump administration? Would you say you're the official?
This is what I'm going to say.
Astrologer?
I'm going to say December 2020, when all the walls were closing in. Mm-hmm. I was the one they called to invite to the White House.
Nancy Reagan had her own.
That was an astrologer. That was an astrologer. His name was Mr. Quigley. And Mr. Quigley, no, I'm not kidding. That was his name. And Mr. Quigley would go around setting the schedule through Nancy Reagan for Ronald Reagan. But the problem was Reagan's cabinet thought she was cuckoo. So, you had a little problem here where the wife is pulling you on the one end and your people are pulling you on the other. So I understand that. But when it comes to numerology, which, by the way, supersedes astrology, I'm the guy.
But just so we're clear, because this is one of the things, it's the no true Scotsman thing.
Exactly.
It's like these other people, these
Mm-hmm.
other astrologers are fake. These other numerologists are fake, but you're not. That's the argument.
I'm going to make this thing. It's all about what can you show. Can you actually, what have you done in this field?
I think we agree on
what
that.
What have you done in this field? Doesn't matter what you do in life. Are you the best of the best at what you do? And then when it comes down to it, the fact is everyone else is broke. I actually got mine.
For sure. But I think what's maybe more important is what you can show empirically and what objective truths that you can prove and what things you can actually predict.
And that's what we're going to do today.
We can, and we can go back and forth. But some of those things, like I'll get just skip ahead here. Like we'll talk about the 2016 championship with the Cavs, right? And I followed that whole thing very clearly.
When Kyrie Irving, born in 1992, You're the Monkey, hit the game-winning shot in 2016, right?
So again, and I'll let you go through that whole thing, but let's try something different. Mm-hmm. The year before, in 2015, Kyrie Irving broke his kneecap open, and Kelly Olynyk pulled Kevin Love's arm out of socket.
Correct.
And the Cavs still gave the Warriors a fucking beat. They almost won that series.
Yeah, Andre Iguodala beat them.
Yeah, and the next year, once that happened, I predicted the Cavs to win the championship, and then Draymond Green gets suspended, and then you go on a news program and you start predicting that the Cavs are going to win. I think
I made that prediction in 2014 that the Cavs would win the NBA Finals. In 2016, that's why they had me on the news. But my Twitter account got suspended. That's what happens when you say too many truths. Your Twitter account just like you got your Twitter account suspended. So I said that in 2014, and then they suspended my Twitter account. So it wasn't 2016. I said 2014.
Right, but I just don't know necessarily. Like I think a lot of people would would have thought the Cavs would have won that championship. I don't think that necessarily proves
against a 73-9 team, the best record in NBA history.
That went down 3-1. That were already down 3-1 to the Oklahoma City Thunder beforehand.
Correct.
And almost got their ass beat the time before in the finals when Kyrie and Kevin Love were injured. Now, a lot of people, watching this, they're like, I don't keep up with basketball. Yeah. The point is, that was an educated guess. LeBron James was the best player in the world at the time. My point is, a lot of the predictions, like you also did predict that Donald Trump was going to win the election in 2020, and that wasn't correct. So the thing is, like, we're sitting there.
The election was stolen, my friend.
Okay, that's fine. But again, numerology should account for that.
No.
Numerology should account for that.
Actually, I said the election would be stolen. And again, that Twitter account got suspended. Right. So again, we can go back and forth, but I actually said certain things. Let me go back to the Cavs 216. Yeah. When the team
just for my clarification, what exactly did you predict?
I predicted the Cavs would come back from 3-1 down and win the NBA Finals. I went on the news and said it. You actually saw it. Everyone can go on YouTube, Cavs, Gary the Numbers Guy, and you will see it yourself. The point is,
I don't think they were down 3-1 at the time. I think it was 3-2 at the time when you made the prediction.
They were still down.
And then Draymond had been suspended.
The whole point is this: in NBA history, 0-32. Were teams that actually were down 3-1. None of them won. I called the first one.
In the finals.
Yes.
In the finals.
I was the first one who called it.
Not in NBA playoffs, obviously.
The biggest stage is the finals.
Just the previous series, the Golden State Warriors were down 3-1 down to Oklahoma City, which is why I thought that they had some serious problems. And that's why I didn't think they were going to win that championship.
Well, I'll tell you what, my little betting slips that year, they say it all, because I had all my money in the Cavs. Everyone in my group had their money in the Cavs. And again, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I'm human. Right. What I'm basically trying to say is I'm not going to be the one who's going to say everything I say is going to be 100% true. Right. I'm trying to tell you I'm better than everyone else at it. That's it.
But do you see how that's problematic, though? Because one of the issues is, if I'm supposed to, where have you won the lottery? And if I'm supposed to follow you and sometimes you're wrong, then this is not a predictable, testable model that you're putting out with numerology.
So you want me to win the lotto? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, if you're a numerologist, I do think that would be kind of...
Okay, so let me tell you, people have came to me and asked me that stuff before. So here's the thing. If the odds of winning the lotto are 100 million to 1 for you, sure, it'll be 100 to 1,000 to me. I'm still not going to hit that 101,000, but my odds will be a lot better. Again, it goes back to the point where I'm saying I can do it better than anyone else because of my ability to understand numerology and astrology. That's it. I'm not going to win the lotto. For all we know, the lotto is fixed by the CIA as a money laundering operation. So that's probably not the best example.
Or another example would be then just run a hedge fund and then just go ahead and start running.
Yeah, I consult many hedge fund managers.
Right, but you wouldn't even you'd be coming in here on a fucking spaceship if that was the case. Like that would be so much money.
I consult with billionaires.
I understand. I get that, man. But then your picks would be so much better, and you'd be able to document it, and no one would ever. This is what I'm saying, Gary. Let's try this instead.
Okay.
Let me do this a different way.
Okay.
So the scientific scrutiny against what you're saying about numerology and astrology, just get rid of it. It's very easy. All you have to do is run a fund that does better than the medallion fund. That's all you have to do is beat their returns and then show it. But you need to start from a certain point and go through another point. Then you need to accurately predict the invasion of Ukraine, and you need to accurately predict the invasion of Ukraine.
I actually did that.
Again,
can you please put that up on Twitter, how I said the Ukraine war would start in 2022, in 2021? I actually said that on Twitter.
Did you say in March that it was going to start?
I said I got the year. Why? See, this is what I'm trying to say. I got the year.
We all knew that they were putting troops up there. That was, again, that's not a testable.
Not everyone knew that. Even the Ukrainian president said they're not invading.
No, he may have said that they're not invading, but we did see that they were putting troops on the border.
Well, maybe you and I saw it, but most people didn't. So the fact of the matter is my prediction is valid.
You don't need numerology to predict.
I'm not saying you needed numerology for that one, but I'm saying the numerology led me to the same conclusion as common sense. So here's the point. If you have common sense and you see evidence pointing to a certain direction, no matter where you get it from, you're going to say, okay, this is the way it's going to be. So for instance, Ukraine.
So are you saying common sense would be more practical than
numerology?
It's actually the same thing when you actually start thinking about it.
So why don't we just call it common sense?
1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. Right. Same thing with numerology. Math is the only universal language there is. Let me start a little bit so people can understand where I'm coming from. Let me tell a little bit, people, about my past, and then we can go back to the questions. Okay? So 9/11. That was one of the biggest days in world history, and it was the day that changed my life. I woke up, I saw the TV, I think I'm watching the movie Die Hard. Okay? All of a sudden, I'm thinking, wait a second. Flight 11 hit the World Trade Center that looks like an 11 side by side. They both have 110 stories. Let's see here. New York's the 11th state in the union. New York City, 11 letters. all this stuff. And I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? Is this a coincidence? Because that's what someone with common sense would start thinking. Is this a coincidence? But see, I know history. And I've always studied history. You said you were into history too. When did the Great War end? The Great War, World War I, ended on 11/11 at exactly 11 o'clock. They were still firing bullets at each other at 10:55. But at 11, they all stopped. At that point, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I see smoke. Because that's what common sense is telling me. At some point, it stops being a coincidence. When I see that Al-Qaeda attacked America on 9/11, I'm like, okay, that's one thing. Then when you see that Al-Qaeda attacked Mumbai, India on July 11th.
I think July 26th when they attacked Mumbai.
No, it was the 11th. You can actually look it up because I already used this example many times. And then they attacked Spain on the 11th too. Those are the three biggest attacks in Al-Qaeda's history. So I'm thinking, okay, so now it's getting to the point where do people out there actually know something that other people don't? Because why are they doing things on specific events? Let's talk about the pandemic. The World Health Organization called COVID-19 on February 11th. Why they picked the 11th? And guess what? They said it was an official pandemic on March 11th. So you tell me, when does this stop being a coincidence? Because they keep doing this over and over on big events.
Because the Civil War did not end on the 11th, and neither did World War II. Like again, you're this is called.
I'm not cherry picking. I'm picking the biggest events in history.
Again, World War I is not a bigger event than World War II.
I just said World War I ended on 11/11. Exactly.
World War I did. World War II was a bigger event. World War I.
That's in your opinion. That's in your opinion.
World War I killed 100 million people. It was a bigger event.
That is your opinion.
What was the
World War I led to World War II. You can't have one without the other.
Find this out for me. When did we go to war with Vietnam?
70s.
Yeah,
1965. No, it was
do we know the date?
The French were always there. Again, like you are cherry picking. This is called the Texas sharpshooter fallacy.
Okay.
Where you cherry pick different ideas, but you can't. What would happen? A coincidence would actually be if every war ended on 11, or if a predominance of wars ended on the 11. That's not what's going on.
I disagree because see what happens is when you look at, and I'll bring sports examples. When you look at an example, Steph Curry at the line, he hits 90% of his free throws. Another guy hits 60%. So you're basically what you're doing is saying, oh, none of this is valid because you don't hit 100%. That is not how the game works. No. I'm trying to tell you, if you look at what I'm saying, most of the biggest events in history will line up with exactly what I'm saying.
But it's not even most. It's like not even partially most. It's just you've cherry picked.
Tell me a bigger event than 9/11 in our history.
A
bigger event. The pandemic?
The bombing of Pearl Harbor.
That was a bigger event than 9/11?
Yes, because
since me and you've been alive,
500
modern day history.
You just said that now. 500,000 American troops died in World War II. It was a bigger event than 9/11. 3,000 people died in 9/11. It's horrible. I went to war for our country because of 9/11. I understand what you're saying. But the biggest thing that had happened before that was
in our lifetimes, the biggest thing is 9/11.
So, I mean, I could say the biggest thing. Yeah, for sure. I could say that.
And I just break down the whole thing about how 9/11 happened on the left. What I'm basically trying to tell you is it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what I believe. It doesn't matter what the people who are listening believe. It matters what the people in positions of power are doing. And if you see what the people in positions of power through the history, they're always planning events under certain dates. For instance, Wall Street crashed on October 29th, 1929. 2 and 9 is 11. So before people say I'm cherry picking, let me explain how numerology works. There's only three. There's only 2 and 9. That is cherry picking. There's only 3 possible ways to become an 11 or to be part of the 11 energy. One is to be born on the 11th. Second is to be born on the 29th. 2 and 9 is 11. And the last way is to be like Kobe Bryant. Kobe's born 8/23/1978. 8/23/1978 adds up to 38. 38 is 11. Now, the reason 11 is not broken down is because it's a master number. 11, 22, and 33 are all master numbers. I'll show you an example.
Why would those be master? Why would they be more important than like any other number?
It's basically like AM and FM radio on completely different wavelengths.
How is that measured? How are the wavelengths measured? How is the energy in those numbers measured against other numbers?
Basically, people who are 11s, people who are 22s, people who are 33s have basically dominated society. Example, Barack Obama. Let me explain.
What's the metric for an important number versus an unimportant?
The people who are actually have those numbers.
So the numerology is dependent on the person itself?
No, the numerology is when a person is born, they're imprinted with energy. Okay, so if someone's born,
what kind of energy?
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. If someone is born on the 11th, they're going to be born with charisma. People who are born on the 11th have a lot of charisma. Now, how do I actually prove this? Because me saying it means nothing. I can prove the fact that the #1 podcaster in the world, Joe Rogan, is born on the 11th. I can say the guy who started podcasting, the crazy French guy, Alex Jones, is born on the 11th. I can say the person who made it from nowhere, Candace Owens, born on the 29th, 2 and 9 is 11. I can bring up Aiden Ross, born on the 11th. How's a punk-ass kid like him make it big? Because he's born on the 11th, and people who are born on the 11th have charisma. This is a fact.
But then there's hundreds of examples of people.
I just gave you the top guys in the game.
But it doesn't matter.
No. You're telling me
Aiden Ross is not the top guy in the game. Joe Rogan is, but that's the problem. First off, the Mumbai attacks were on the 26th. I just looked it up. The other thing, I'll show you the pictures of it. Okay. The other thing is this concept of like Aiden Ross. You cherry pick. You brought up this one example that Michael Jordan and who's the
Kobe Bryant?
No, not Kobe Bryant. The same birthday.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown have the same birthdays. And your example was that Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player of all time.
Do you disagree?
Of course he is. And then the idea that Jim Brown was possibly the greatest football player of all time. Well, no, but Jim Brown isn't even the best running back of all time. You cherry picked and went down.
According to Barry Sanders, he is the best running back of all time. Barry Sanders retired just not to beat that guy's record. So you're saying he's not, but Barry Sanders, the guy who played the game, said he is.
Everyone else, the NFL's top 100, and everyone else who voted, don't even put him in the top 3 as far as Jim Brown is concerned. He's a great player, but to say he's better than, say, just even throw out Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, or Tom Brady.
I was talking about running backs.
Well, but again, that's not what you said. In the thing you said, the greatest football player of all time. The Hotep Jesus interview is still up there. Mm-hmm. And the point is, you cherry picked. You went down the list of football players to find one that had the same birth date as Michael Jordan. This is the Texas sharpshooter fallacy. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm giving you examples of the top people in the game. When I say Michael Jordan is the top guy in the game, most people who actually understand basketball would say that because Michael Jordan's born 2/17, 1963.
That's not why he's the top.
No, that's exactly why he is. Because he's an 11, and 11s have the best ability when it comes to becoming athletes.
He's the best basketball player ever because the man was a psychopath with a 45-inch vertical who literally led the league in score. He scored 37 points
because he was an 11.
It's because of genetics. It's not because of determination. Because his father didn't accept him. Because his father accepted Larry, his brother.
I got a question. Do we know when Tiger Woods was born?
12/30/1975.
Is he an 11?
Hold on. 12/30/1975. 12301975 adds up to 28. 28 is number of wealth. He is one of the richest athletes in the world, just like LeBron James, born on the same day as him, 12/30/1984. And again, these guys care about their money a lot more than Michael Jordan cared about his charisma and his empire. Would you say that
Tiger Woods is one of the best golf players in history?
Yeah, 1s and 11s are the athletes. 1s and 11s are the athletes.
So now we're 1s. So
there's not just one.
It's like a prime number. I'm trying to get the math here.
The math is very simple. People who are athletes start with A. A is the first letter. By the way, the English language is collected in numerology. It's called gematria or letterology. So if you go down the list, people who are 1s actually are really good athletes, and people who are 11s. We can go down the list, and you'll see nothing but 1s and 11s, pretty much with all the main sports. We'll actually
see other things besides 1s and 11s.
That's the main. Thing you're going to see, though.
Yes, no, it isn't actually.
It is.
In fact, they just did a study where they looked at billionaires in China under their different astrological signs, and they've actually found.
I don't do astrological signs.
Okay, well, no, these are year of the snake, year of the rat, year of those astrological signs, Chinese astrology, and in doing so, they found that actually the ones that were supposed to be the poorest, that was the most common astrological signs for Chinese billionaires.
I can't comment on other people's work.
But when you do anything, like the University of Cambridge did multiple studies on this and found that, you made the statement before that Geminis are more likely to suffer from mental disorder. There is no evidence to support this whatsoever. There have been numerous studies to do this. There's one study where they did 10,000 men who enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps and tried to see if their astrological signs lined up with Mars. They lined up with Venus more often than Mars.
I don't do that astrology. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But you're trying to tell me about that chick stuff. I don't do that.
Again, one more time. I heard you on another show sit there and talk about Gemini. You talked about Aquarius and you talked about
That Pisces. Is not what I'm known for. I am known for Chinese astrology, and I'm known for numerology. You're trying to bring other stuff into it. I don't do too much. I don't even teach that stuff that much.
I got you. But you might want to ask Hotep Jesus to take that video down because
there's no reason to.
Because you did talk about what's called Greco-Roman astrology. You talked about on numerous cases, or Vedic astrology. They use very similar signs.
Have you ever talked about ballet dancers?
Probably not. No.
If you've never in your life one time mentioned ballet dancers.
what's her name? Jenna Jameson used to be a ballet dancer.
Okay, so you probably mentioned it sometime. Does that make you? Does that make you?
You know who I'm talking about. There's a ballet dancer.
There you go. Good stuff. The car thief, right? Yeah. Anyways, what I'm basically trying to say is just because you say something once doesn't mean you're an expert on the subject.
Sure.
Okay? I brought up Western astrology. I don't even teach that stuff. I teach Chinese astrology, and we can go into that if you want to. I can bring up the fact that John Jones, born in 1987, the year of the cat, won his first UFC title in 2011, the cat year. In the cat's enemy year, the rooster, he got stripped of the title in 2017, and then again in 2013, the year of the cat, he becomes a champion again.
I got a question. I'm the newbie here. I'm trying to parse out like how you come to these conclusions. So like for instance, I'm looking at Tiger Woods, December
30th,
12th month, 1-2, all right, 30th, 3-0. 1975, 1975. What's his number?
Okay,
how do I come to the number?
So you do 1 + 2 + 3 + 0 is 6. 1975 is 22. 22 and 6 is 28. Then you reduce. 2 and 8 is 10. 1 and 0 and 0. So he's a one life path.
Why do you reduce?
Because you have to come down to the.
Do you reduce with other dates?
Only numbers you don't reduce with are master numbers, because master numbers are in a different wave. I'll give you an example.
I'm still curious. It's like, how do you come to the conclusion that one number is like
because
some more importance than another?
Just think of it this way: 11, 22, 33. Everything that's doubled up is called a master number for a reason. I'll give you an example. Vladimir Lenin, who started the Soviet Union, was born on the 22nd. The Soviet Union came to power in 1922. Because he's the one who led it. George Washington, born on the 22nd, helped start America. People who are born on the 22nd are master builders. You're into sports. Who's arguably the best coach in NFL history?
I've heard you say this before.
Bill Parcells.
You think of Parcells because he was the tutor for Belichick.
Exactly.
Belichick won more, but yeah. Parcells
okay,
was
so
a good
we
coach.
can say that Bill Parcells' coaching tree, and again, it extends to Bill Belichick's coaching tree, is probably the most extensive in the NFL. He is born on the 22nd. So what basically I'm trying to say is people born with on certain dates have certain abilities. And if you actually use this as a psychological method, you'll actually see that people have certain abilities. For instance, if you're born on the 1st, you're good at arguing. If you're born on the 5th, you're good at talking to the ladies. When you're born, Michael?
The 5th.
I see.
Here we go.
Okay. So again, we are going to bring up examples of this stuff, not the stuff I don't talk about, Mike.
Did you have another question?
No, I was just going to say, I'm still confused as to what would make a 1 more powerful than like a 9. What are 9s?
Okay, for instance,
is it, because what I'm trying to get at is if you're going to say that a 1 is different than a 2, the 3, 4, 9, all the way.
Let me give some examples then. People who are 1s are leaders. Even women who are 1s have leadership abilities. Sheryl Sandberg, CFO of Facebook. So people who have 1 energy.
I don't know if I
listen.
Leaders, but go ahead.
85% of women have no leadership abilities. But the women who are born on the 1st, 10th, 19th, 28th, because they have the male energy, 1 is male energy, they have those leadership abilities. Napoleon was a 1 life path. He was a leader. People who are born on the 2nd are good at writing. Don't you have a best-selling book?
I've got a few.
I see. You also said people born on the 2nd are more feminine. That's another thing.
They can be. They can be.
But the problem is, like, what you're saying is you have this idea that, like, well, it's not an exact science, and sometimes I can be wrong, but you actually want this taught in schools when we have a bunch of uneducated people who don't understand science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You want people in schools to learn numerology.
100%.
And astrology when it's not even exact science. It's not even a science because you don't use
testable models. It actually is a science.
It isn't a science because in science, what you're going to do is try to disprove your own hypothesis, and you don't. You cherry pick certain people's birthdays that happen to fit with whatever you're doing. If we were to take a population-wide survey, which I can show you 13 of them,
that is not possible because there's 7 or 8 billion people on the planet. The only thing is possible is we can take the people at the top that everyone knows about and show examples with them.
That's not the only.
No, that's the only thing we can do. How are we going to measure 8 billion people on the planet?
You can measure.
Exactly.
You can measure the population of the United States.
I can tell you 28's number of wealth. I can tell you the richest man in the world is Elon Musk, and he's born on the 28th. I can say the guy who used to be the richest man in the world before Musk took over was Bill Gates, born on the 28th. I can say Steve Jobs, born 2/24/1955. 2, 2,
Again,
4,
this is not
8,
this is not
1955 is a 28. Hold on. He started Apple on 4/1/1976, adds up to 28. You're laughing, but he's a billionaire using this stuff.
Yeah, but
that's the fact. You're laughing, but he's a billionaire using this information.
He wasn't using this information. He did not use the information of when he was born.
No, he actually did.
No, he did not use the information of when he was born to build Apple.
How do you know that?
He used Steve Wozniak to help him build Apple.
Steve Wozniak created the Apple computers.
Right.
He actually created the brand.
Well, no, I agree with that, but this
what
whole
number
idea
is Steve Wozniak?
7, genius.
Yeah,
Genius starts with G. G is the 7th letter.
But again, if we were to do that, if we were to go through and look at people born on the 7th and test their IQs,
yes, you will. If you go on, yes, you will, because I actually talk to teachers, and they tell me their students born in the 7th,
that is not
16th,
a scientific survey.
25th.
That's not scientific at all. That's
How is not scientific?
Close. It's scientific. What you'd have to do is you'd have to have a population level study of like maybe 60,000 people, and you would test people not born on the 7th. You would test all the other dates versus the 7th, and you would find some sort of positive correlation. There's no positive correlation whatsoever between somebody born on the 7th and their IQ. None. Zero. There is no one more time. There is no positive correlation between billionaires and people born on the 28th. Absolutely none.
Then why is the richest man in the world born on the 28th? Explain that.
Because you don't understand science.
Explain.
Because you don't understand how normal distribution.
1 out of 30 is 3%. 1 out of 30 is 3%. Bill Gates is the guy who used to be the richest guy in the world.
He doesn't even count as 1%.
Why doesn't he count? Because you said so?
He doesn't count as even 1% of the billionaires on this planet. That's the problem.
The rich,
the normal distribution.
Look it up, David. I believe 7 out of the 3 of the richest 7 people in the world are born on the 28th. Look it up.
Again, the normal distribution of billionaires, we're not going to find that most of them were born on the 28th.
You actually will.
You will not.
You actually will.
You will not.
Well, tell me.
Not only that, you'll not.
Tell me why. I'm
going to put a link.
Tell me why Musk born on the 28th is the richest man in the world. Then tell me why.
Again, he's the richest man in the world because
and who did he replace? And who did he replace?
Again,
Bill Gates, last century, the richest guy in the world, born on the 28th.
This doesn't prove anything.
How does not prove it when the richest guy in the world this decade, last decade, switches, but they're still born on the 28th? Let's do some math. Let's do some probability math.
Wait. Let me direct traffic here. Okay. So first off, the idea is correlation and causation. Is the correlation the causation, or is the causation correlation? Is like, how do you find out in with the scientific method that what you're saying, because what you're arguing for at this point is really that correlation is causation. So look at all these coincidences here.
That's what you call them.
Well, no, here's the thing is, okay, so coincidence, whatever we want to call them, you're looking at a series of incidents, right, that all coincide, okay? So if you're going to say that so-and-so was born on the 28th, this guy's born on the 28th, Tiger Woods, I don't know how the math works out. If you're looking at these little statistics or these stats here with these individual people, what you're saying is there's a predictable framework amongst all of this. So what would happen is if somebody was born today and they happen to be on the 28th, then if we track that person is destined to some sort of greatness or something like that. So what I'm asking is, what is the process? What is the scientific, measurable, testable, experimental process that says, if I watch this kid who was just born today on, I don't know, April 28th or coming up pretty soon, right? That kid is going to be the next billionaire. What's the process to figure that out?
Let me say this. Number one, I will post something on Twitter after I'm done with the show that will prove that 28s are the richest people in the world. Now, does that mean everyone born on the 28th is going to be rich? No.
No, hold on. There's not even a distribution that even shows they're even 1% wealthier. There is none. There have been multiple studies on this. There is no distribution that shows that people born on the 28th are any wealthier or people born on the 7th have a higher IQ.
So that's what you say. That's what you say.
Irrefutable, but unassailable.
But when you look at the actual richest people in the world or the smartest people in the world, you will see, like, for instance, what's his name? He freaking died. Stephen Hawking was the 7th life path. Again, most people would say... But
he wasn't born on the 7th.
He was 1/8/1942.
Again,
1/8/1942.
I know. I'm not.
Numbers. I said...
But you are, and this is not scientific. This is not.
Again, you're not letting me speak.
Okay.
I said there's 2 ways to do it. If you're a 7, if you're a 3, if you're a 5, if you're a 5 life path, for instance, you're born on the 5th, 14th, 1 and 4 is 5, 23rd, or your total number adds up to 5. Those are... If the total number adds up to 5, it's called a life path. If you're born on a certain day, that's the day number you're born on. So again, this is all confusing to people. I understand that. But here's the whole point. If you guys want examples of this, people who are born on the 5th, 14th, 23rd are the most attractive people in the world. Go on Facebook, put in those dates, and you'll see it with yourself. It's very simple. See, that's the thing about numerology. I always wondered why some people were rich. Now I understand why. They're born on the 28th or they're 8th. I always want to understand why some people were actually, really funny. Well, people born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th are the funny ones. Chris Rock, Roseanne Barr. When you look at things from an everyday perspective and you start looking at it through these lenses of understanding how numerology and astrology works, you start looking at the world in a completely different way. Let me just say a few things. Michael Jordan, born 2/17/1963, 11 life path, mentored Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, born 8/23/1978, mentored Kyrie Irving. Kyrie, born 3/23/1992, 11/11/11. Here's the point.
And it couldn't be that they all had really great natural.
They're all great athletes and they're all 11s. The point is, people with certain numbers gravitate towards each other. Now, let's talk about you. What's your day, my friend? What's your birthday?
My birthday?
Yeah.
April 2nd, 1968.
April 2nd, 1968. 421938 adds up to 33 and 0.
68, not 38. Don't age me to
okay,
30 years.
You're basically a 3 life path in numerology. What's your birthday?
October 5th, 1977.
Okay, so you're basically a 3 life path in numerology. Look at this. The 2 people who are running the podcast, 3 is the number of communication. Communication starts with C. C is the 3rd letter. Voila!
Why is 3 the number for communication?
Because why couldn't I just be born
it coincides with the word C? I'm sure there are other languages
just be born on the
that don't
3rd,
use C
dude?
for
Like, you just add up all these numbers, and it's just like, it's crazy to me. Like, first off, Kyrie Irving falls very short of Michael Jordan. He shouldn't even be using the same fucking sentence as him. Okay? Kyrie Irving believes
he probably has the best handles
he does,
in NBA history.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely. But Kyrie Irving also believes the earth is flat. The dude has he has some serious problems.
You know what? At least Kyrie Irving isn't vaccinated like 6-7 billion people on this planet. And now that we're talking about that, let's just say this. I am not vaccinated, sir. Are you vaccinated?
I am not vaccinated.
Sir, are you vaccinated?
I'm a U.S. military officer, yeah.
Okay, so you actually were forced to get vaccinated.
I wasn't forced, but I'm a retired officer. And as soon as they told us,
I see. So you actually trusted the government and you got the vaccine, correct?
I trusted the government to build an airplane that I fought in 2 wars over. So yeah, I mean,
okay. I trusted the government to get on a commercial airplane too. So here's the point. You trusted the government to take the vaccine, and now most people understand that vaccine was a lie.
I don't think most people understand that. I think some people. Wait.
We're both 30 live paths. I didn't take it. He did. So how does that?
You probably have more sense than him. But here's the whole point.
That must be what it is.
Here's the whole point.
There we go. Thank you for the more sense, bro. Thank you for the more sense.
The fact that you took the vaccine is a major hit on your credibility. The fact that you trusted the government and you took the vax is a major. And I understand you're a successful person.
Okay,
I understand you made a lot of money.
Yes.
I understand that a lot of people look up to you.
Okay.
And that's all fine and dandy. But when it came to the biggest...
But somehow, in spite of all that, I took the vaccine.
When it came to the biggest psyop in world history, you failed, brother, and that's just a fact.
Okay, I mean, that's your opinion. I don't think so. I don't agree at all.
We'll find out in about a decade.
I found like after I did it. By the way, I'm not pro or against the vaccine.
I got a good one here.
But my whole thing, I'm very much against the idea of firing people because they didn't take the vaccine. But the idea, like after I took the vaccine, I started an 8-figure company. I'm dating the hottest woman I've ever seen in my life, and I have a new bench press max.
How do you feel?
Those are great. Those are absolutely great. But the fact of the matter is, we'll see how you're doing in about 7 years. After you took the vaccine.
9-figure company. That's what we're going to be at. That's what's
when your heart explodes.
When my heart explodes. I took the vaccine immediately. I needed to vote for Joe Biden, and scales grew on my neck.
I have a
They're
question.
The aliens. The Illuminati's calling.
Serious question. This is good.
I really hope you take that stuff seriously.
There's a super chat.
If I were you, I'd be looking into holistic medicine to try to actually get rid of that. But that's up to you.
I'm not going to. Thanks.
Okay, here's the deal. Rusty Fuel, thanks for this super chat. This is great. The premise is wrong because the calendar many times over the last 7,000 years has changed, has shifted.
Outstanding. I love the fact that
how does that gel? And then the other thing is, I'm sure there are other cultures that, like for instance, the Jewish culture, the Chinese culture, they track our years in much different ways than we do. So that's number one. So how accurate can it possibly be if we've actually shifted? Dates and
who asked that question?
Rusty Fuel.
Very, very smart man, Rusty. Let me explain how we know, and let me explain it to the best of my ability. Manifestation is a real thing in this world.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Absolutely
Wait,
isn't.
I'm gonna manifest a steak in the refrigerator.
Absolutely isn't. I'm going to prove you that it is.
Out in the universe.
Manifestation is a real thing.
100% not true.
So, did you have goals in life?
I sure did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and I worked for them. And manifestation is one of the deadliest things in the world.
No, it's not. You have to work and do things at the same time.
That's not manifestation. Working is not manifestation.
Why not?
Working is not manifestation.
Why not?
Manifestation. Let's look up the definition.
So you can be the best NBA player in the world just by saying, no, you got to put in the work.
He didn't manifest it. He only did it. If we were to ask Michael Jordan, hey, let me ask you about your life path as far as your numerology, he would not give a fuck about what you're saying. He would just say, I busted my ass in the gym.
Have you met Michael Jordan?
My junior high coach cut me from the fucking team, and my dad did not accept me over my brother Larry. So I busted my ass to become the best player on the planet. That's what he'd tell you. He doesn't say anything about it being an 11 life path. So don't put your beliefs about numerology on Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a killer out there on the basketball court, and he was a killer because he decided to be a killer, not because he put it off on numerology or astrology.
No, he doesn't know anything about numerology and astrology.
The most deadly part of this whole situation is that you're sitting here having a conversation about red pill, and the number one problem that we have with women is their lack of accountability, and what you're teaching is literally the fuel for that lack of accountability. I am where I am because I went to the fucking gym, because I learned how to build a sales team. That's where I am, not because of when I was born. You give people this literal lack of accountability. They have this safe blanket of victimhood that they can use because of what you're teaching them. It is literally the opposite. It is the absolute opposite of what you need. Again, the reason why Rollo and I are friends is not because we're three life paths. It's because we both believe in this fucking book over here called Evolutionary Psychology. That's the reason why. It's because
the reason you both believe in that book is because you're three life paths. No, that's the point.
There is no proof in what you're saying.
The proof is you guys right here. This is the proof. You guys are here together.
That is not proof.
He is actually backing you. He is putting everything on the line to back you.
See, that's anecdotal. That is anecdotal. That is not scientific.
That's a circular argument.
Exactly. It's like anecdotal. That is not scientific.
Because the solution is in the question itself. So like how can that's unfalsifiable? Yeah, of course we're here to, and I'm sure maybe Steven Crowder has people that are with him that maybe.
I'm glad you brought up. Hold on, stop. That they align. But I am glad you brought up Steven Crowder.
Don't get lost in the weeds. Don't get lost in the weeds. What I'm saying is that just because two people happen to have like similar personality, like what about personalities? What about people who are like good clicks with each other? What about people who have like complementary talents? Those people are, what about, I got a better one for you. People who have pathological personalities tend to attract other pathological personalities into their orbit. That has nothing to do with fucking numbers. It has to do with the fact that this guy's crazy and this guy's even crazier than him. So the crazy guy's going to follow.
When you are born, you are born and imprinted with certain energy. That in energy.
How do I measure that energy? I want to know what
numerology
this is, because if I could put that fucking energy in a bottle, I'd be a billionaire. Right
it's just like
energy. No. You guys brought up Steven Crowder. I want to make this example. He is born 7/7/1987. He is a 3 life path, just like him and him. So again, they can say all the nonsense they want. The fact of the matter is, they're over here doing the same thing Steven Crowder is, and they're the guys who brought him up, not me.
There are hundreds of people.
Yeah, you brought him up, not me.
I didn't bring it. But there are hundreds of people.
Rush Limbaugh, born on the 12th.
It's fine. But
Howard Stern, born on the 12th.
There are hundreds of people who aren't, and you can sit.
But the top of the game is.
It doesn't matter. Like
that's in your opinion.
No, it doesn't. It's not the way that works.
So you're telling me if we look at the top people in the game and they all have move over.
Yeah, it's that way. You're not in the middle.
So if you're telling me the top people in the game are all a certain number, it means nothing.
Yeah, correct. But first off, you're cherry picking who the top people in the game are. Number one, and
you tell me who the top people are.
Number one, you don't say the third. You say 112 is also the same thing, and it's like very convenient because if you're born on the 21st, then you're also 3 life path. It's like you have all.
I didn't say a 3 life path.
You have all these fucking ejections.
I don't have outs.
Always what?
I don't.
Let's go back to Holland because I don't want to skip back because you definitely do this thing where you keep throwing things at people before they can research it. The manifestation thing.
Yes.
Those poor kids who lived in Poland in 1939 when the Nazis invaded, they didn't manifest getting thrown into ovens.
No.
And those Hutus and Tutsis that live in Rwanda, and 1 million people died in 100 days, they didn't manifest getting butchered.
No, they didn't.
Julian Khashoggi, when he fucking questioned the king of Saudi Arabia, he didn't manifest getting killed by a fucking bone saw. Those things are not manifestation. No, those things are not true. You did not manifest those things. The 100 million people that died during the wheat famines under Mao Zedong did not manifest.
And neither the people who died in fucking the Holocaust in Ukraine.
Manifestation isn't real, or rather, there is no evidence.
No.
There is no evidence.
Manifestation is very real, and the point is, only a few people have the ability to manifest.
Again,
that's the whole point.
What an incredible escape route for you.
It's not an escape. It's not an escape route.
I'm the only true astrologer. I'm the only true numerologist, and only things I do sometimes are wrong, and we can change all these other things. Like, again, man, there's no way this is a science. You have to be able to disprove your own hypothesis, and you don't even attempt to do so.
This right here proves it's real.
It doesn't prove it.
Me helping the Golden State Warriors win a damn championship. Again, that is real.
Okay, let's do this real quick. In the chat.
Going to the White House.
In the chat.
That is real.
One more time. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe he helped the Golden State Warriors that had Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. You believe that Gary Ginsberg helped them win a championship. I don't believe you helped them win a championship.
That's fine.
I believe the fact that they had a head coach that had already won had won 5 championships as a coach, the 2 best shooters of all time, and one of the best defensive players at the time. Of all time. I think that's why I won a championship, not because of you, Gary. No offense. I don't think you had anything to do with the Golden State Warriors winning the championship.
Did I hit any jump shots? No. Did I do any coaching? No. But you have to ask yourself, who put the team together? Who told certain people to sign with Golden State Warriors? That's the part you're missing. Hold on.
How did you do that?
That will come out in the future when certain players retire, and I cannot affect their money. And I can't affect their endorsements.
So we can't know until they retire.
When certain players retire, all of this is going to be real.
There's only one possible person you could be talking about, and that's Kevin Durant. And I don't believe that you told Kevin Durant to sign with it. No. But because here's the thing, nobody else really affected it that much.
You're wrong.
You're going to say Andre Iguodala, but it's not that big.
Who won the NBA Finals and MVP in 2015?
Because he shot so poorly.
Because it's always because of something. No, but it happened. It was a fact. He did it that year.
You are trying to say that Andre Iguodala signed with the Golden State Warriors because you did that.
I didn't say anything.
It's utter hokum. That is not true.
We'll see in the future.
It's not. And
we will see in the future.
By the way, he could have chose to sign for any other reasons. Like, for instance, the reason that Kevin Durant signed, because they were the best team and he's a front runner. That's the reason why. Andre Iguodala had been in the league for a long time. People forget Andre Iguodala played with Allen Iverson. That's how old he is. So this idea that all of a sudden he signed because you said this and that you get a ring because of that is not. Again, what you're doing is taking anecdotal evidence and you're blasting it onto people who don't know better, and you're confusing.
I will tell you this. Andre Iguodala, born on the 28th, when he went to Miami, he wore the number 28.
So he's rich.
Ask why.
So he's one of the richest players in the world because he's
100%.
He's one of the richest players in the world. But no, he's not. He's not one of the richest players.
He's worth over $200 million. What about you?
So according to all the NBA players, it wouldn't even put him in the top 10%. That's the problem.
Bogut, garbage ass player, born on the 28th, got a big contract. Anderson Verjon, another garbage ass player, born on the 28th. That's why they got the big contract.
I want you to everyone stop and listen to what he's saying. He's literally cherry picking Bogut and Anderson Verjon. He's cherry picking play. There's so many people. Kevin Garnett would sign a huge contract. So did P.J. Washington. There's so many people that signed big contracts.
I just brought up garbage players. I just brought up garbage players who got big paydays because they're born on the 28th. That's the only correlation.
Many players that got huge paydays. Eddie Curry got a big payday. It doesn't make any difference.
There is a guy on the Warriors. I forgot his name. This guy in the Warriors, he was there for one day, and he got $1 million contract. I forgot his name, but he was born on the 28th.
This doesn't prove anything.
Even if this is true, like, why would the 28th be different than the 13th?
Because 28 is the 28 is the number of wealth. People who are born on the 28th.
Why is it the number one and not like 7 or 4?
Because, for instance, you're basically saying, why is a woman weaker than a man? Because that's the natural order.
What's the significance of those numbers?
Because of natural selection. That's the reason why a woman is weaker than a man. Because of natural selection. Okay,
so when it comes down to it, the 28 is the number of wealth. 8 is the number of money. I'll give you an example. Stop. All you can do is look at what the elite are doing and follow their lead. The Chinese. Listen, the Chinese started the Olympic Games on 8/8/2008 at exactly 8:08 p.m. Why? Because they know 8's the number of money. No matter what you think, they went from the 15th biggest economy in the world to the 3rd to the 2nd within a few years after that. Right. So you can say that's a correlation, but the fact of the matter is it happened.
I'm going to also say it's a correlation because
it's also begging the question.
Also, I was begging the question that they don't have the same calendar as us. It wasn't even the 8th of their month when they did it. It wasn't even. They don't have the same calendar we do.
they use the English language over there too.
Got it.
The signs,
you guys see the ejection handle?
The signs in China. The signs in the Chinese. If you go to China, you go to Russia, you go to Peru, all the signs in English, buddy.
Again, that doesn't change the fact they didn't do it. They did it on literally their calendar. It was not the 8th day. You'd sit.
Huawei, a government company called
another ejection handle. Here we go. Pull out of here again.
Chinese New Year is in February.
February 5th is the Chinese New Year.
Huawei. Look at that's the government-backed Chinese company. It starts with the H. 8 is the 8th letter because of money. And if you look at their logo, it has 8 different spots on it, symbolizing the 8. You guys are blind to this. Like, for instance, when I talk about the Illuminati, when I talk about the 13 Illuminati families, you guys will say, oh, this is nonsense. But if you see what's actually going on in the world, you understand what's going on. For instance, McDonald's. McDonald's has a big M as their logo. Why? Because M is the 13th letter. Again, paying homage to the 13 Illuminati families.
It's not because the guy's name was McDonald.
That's what. Now, yeah, no idea of the fact that it was named after a guy named McDonald, who didn't get to choose his fucking name. Got it. Okay.
That's what you guys are going to say. I'm going to say.
No, here's what happened. Rick Kroc specifically bought McDonald's from the brothers specifically because now I get it. It's all astrology proof.
I got you.
Okay.
Philadelphia 76ers. 7 + 6 is 13. San Francisco 49ers. You're going to say the 49 gold rush. I'm going to say 4 + 9 = 13, and I'm going to tell you why.
What's 13?
13 is homage to the 13 Illuminati families, like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers.
Is that a money number, or is it just like Illuminati number?
Illuminati number.
So this is not a numerology number. We're
There's different numbers mean different things.
1 + 3 is 4. What's 4?
4 is the number of law and order police.
Oh, see. So
that's why Donald Trump, when he was in the White House, tweeted law and order on 4 days. And why don't you guys go check that out?
I have. He also tweeted law and order on not 4 days as well.
Now, he did it mostly on 4 days.
He did not do it mostly on 4 days. We go back to the cherry picking thing that you do. You don't.
I mean, brother.
Correlation.
Yeah, you're telling me he didn't do it. I'm telling you he did. Let's put some money on it. I'm telling you, he did most of his tweets about law and order on 4 days. The reason I know this is because his personal assistants are in my group.
Right, but Donald Trump's not in your group because now he doesn't have anything to do with you anymore, right? Is that correct?
I mean, I don't talk to him on the phone personally, but I did tell him in his face on October 22nd that he'd be president of the United States. That actually happened.
Yes, and you also told Hotep Jesus that he would win in 2020.
And the election was stolen.
Oh, got it. But numerology should account for that. Numerology should account for that.
Was the election stolen in your opinion?
I don't know if it was.
Oh, so you won't make a stand?
I don't believe it was.
You don't believe it?
Yeah.
Was the election stolen in your opinion?
I don't even. Well, you mean the last one or the one before
2020?
Quite honestly, I think it's the entire voting.
I think the whole system was corrupted. Yeah. I think if they're cheating on both sides.
You think the Republicans are cheating in national elections? Yeah, and actually getting away with it?
As much as the Democrats are, yeah.
Maybe using the same.
Just curious. What does the number 15 mean? I'm just curious. What does the number 15 mean? What does that mean?
Home and family, 1 and 5 and 6.
So why did the Republicans gain 15 seats in the House and the Senate when the election was stolen? I'm just curious. How did that happen?
Well, on a national level and on a state level, they have different elections.
No, right. But again, they won 15 seats. These are the same. Mm-hmm. The voting machines that they use were the same voting machines for the national election as the state election. How do they win 15 seats? I'm just curious. What 15 means? What does it mean again?
No one cares. It's only about the president.
No one cares.
It's the president.
No one cares.
It's the president. It's the president they care about.
Your anecdotal information matters because you said it. My anecdotal information doesn't matter because I said it. This is clear selection bias. Texas sharpshooter fallacy. You're doing it again. No, there's no evidence. Was it stolen or not stolen? I don't know. But the reality is I haven't seen any clear evidence to show that it was stolen. That's not the case. So here's the thing.
You don't know the Democrats too well then, do you?
No, I know the Democrats better than you, clearly. Because you just throw things out there and you expect people to believe.
You understand Obama's running a shadow government right now?
Let me explain something.
If you understand the Democrats.
I'm going to explain something to you. You're going to agree with me on this. I don't want you coming near my girlfriend. I think you're fucking incredible with women. I think you can run off about astrology all fucking day until these women are dropping their panties for you. I have no doubt whatsoever.
I don't need to do that. I have a wife. I have a wife. And I don't do that stuff. Now, that might interest you to sleep around with 20 women. That does not interest me. I don't teach that stuff. I don't teach that stuff.
You could.
Let him finish his thought.
I'm saying you could. What I'm saying is what you do is this thing very similar to what Johnny Cochran did, where you just keep throwing things against the wall faster than we can check them. And then you keep going, and people are like, yeah. And then after a while, they're just beaten. The problem is that's not going to happen to me because I watch all your stuff and I know what you're talking about. The thing with Jim Brown and Michael Jordan is incorrect. It is not correct.
You're telling me Jim Brown? I brought up a Hall of Famer. a Hall of Famer.
That's not what you said. You said the best football player ever. That's what you said in Hotep G's. Again, you're going to probably
you're going to say one example. He's one of the best. He's one of the best.
You said Trump was going to win the election, and then the numerology should account for the fact that it was stolen. Numerology should account for the fact.
Why? Because you say so?
No, because you say so. Because numerology is supposed to be is a science.
I said he would get more votes. I said he would get more votes.
You said that it should be taught in schools. You said it should be taught.
100%.
Astrology and numerology.
100%.
So it should account for the fact that it was stolen, and it did not, because numerology is hokum, and so is astrology. There have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tests that prove unassailably that this is hokum. That's the problem.
And you're really good at screaming and out talking.
I'm
people.
Good at screaming. Hold on. I'm good at. Wait, hold on. Get the camera on me.
I'm the one. Don't make me use the clock. I'll use the clock.
I'm the one good at screaming.
You got
listen to this
very,
one more time.
very good radio voice. You're extremely charismatic with it. But the fact of the matter is, the astrologers have been ahead of the scientists for 500 freaking years. Let me explain how.
Well, they've been ahead of the scientists for longer than that, obviously, because they've been around for 5,000 years.
Let me explain. Let me explain. Astrologers for centuries have told people whenever it's a full moon, people become crazy. They have said this for centuries. It was only the scientists that caught up about 50 to 75 years ago that figured out the human body is 70% water, and the moon pulls on us too, just like it pulls on the tides. So people become crazy under full moons. That's why they call it lunatic. Hold on, let me finish.
Why would that
this is a fact that people who under full moons become crazier. That's why they call it lunatics. Go to any police station and they'll tell you this firsthand.
Okay, so
now let me finish.
There have been studies on this that show why this is the case.
This is a fact.
Okay,
but why
would it? If it's a fact, let's say for sake of argument, I accept exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
Why would it make people crazy?
Because 70% of the human body is water.
Why
liquid.
would that make people crazy? Who cares?
When the moon
How does water in your body? Okay, but if it's pulling on you, what is the pull, the gravity that triggers? Like I'm going to go.
Water having an upward pull does
emotion.
What?
Emotional energy.
It doesn't. Emotional energy. It's neurochemical.
Emotional energy is stored in water.
Emotional energy,
just like it's stored in air.
It is stored in neurochemicals in your fucking brain.
Liquid.
Electricity is affected by
70% of the human body is electricity.
Yes, but the brain goes through electrochemical reactions. That's the reason why it doesn't affect it. Number one. Number two. This building has more gravitational effect on you than the moon does. That's the second part.
Maybe
of it.
today.
Number three. There have been studies that have been done on this, and the reason why people commit more crimes under full moon is because it's fucking brighter outside. That's the reason why. They've done studies on this. Stop what you're doing. Everybody pause what you're saying.
Crimes happen
pause what you're doing.
Night.
And you can look up the studies of why people do these things on full moons. It is not because...
So you're telling me people commit more crimes during the day than at night. That's what you're basically telling me.
No, during a full moon.
Because it's lighter outside, right?
Correct. They can see more
so
stuff.
How come they're not committing more crimes during the daytime than the night, going with your philosophy?
Because they can see everything. What I'm saying is...
Garbage.
Again, it's garbage because you say so. Again, you have not...
If what you said was true, people would be committing more crimes during the day.
No. Well, they commit more financial crimes.
I looked it up. As moon illumination increased, researchers saw that escalation in criminal activity. One explanation for this is what's referred to as the illumination hypothesis, suggesting that criminals like enough light to ply their trade.
Hypothesis is not fact.
Not so much as to increase their chance of apprehension.
No, it's nonsense because you say it's nonsense.
Listen, women can tell you this and that. It's nonsense too. Here's the fact of the matter. This stuff works if you actually look at it. You don't want to look at this stuff. You actually don't want to look at it.
I've spent 3 weeks looking at this stuff.
I'll tell you what.
I guarantee you.
I tell you what. This is what we're going to do.
Okay.
You're a rich man. I'm a rich man. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go up to random people with a video camera. They're going to give me their birthday, and I'm going to read them like a book.
No, we're not going to.
If they say I'm wrong, I pay you.
No.
If they say I'm right, you pay me. Let's do that. Money. This is what matters. Put the money on it. You won't do it. You won't do it.
So let me explain to you. So I want you guys to stop real quick, and I want you to look up what's called the Barnum.
I'll read it. I have it right here.
We're going to look up what's called the Barnum fallacy. So what you do is there's a professor named Barnum, and there was another professor named Ricci who did this. What they did was they gave the horoscopes for all these different astrological signs. They had 120 students in a class, and they gave in an envelope with their astrological signs. They had 10 Virgo, 10...
You just said you needed 60,000 people about 10 minutes ago. You said you needed 60,000. Now you're saying...
I didn't interrupt you, so stop. So what happened was they gave them all the same astrological signs, and they gave it a 4.6 out of 5 rating that this astrological sign meant them. So what he's doing is he's going to say things like, you're assertive, or money's coming in your future, or you're going to make more friends. So there's going to be these massive generalizations. And through that, most people are going to say, yes, like, you're an honest person. Most people are going to think they're an honest person.
Yeah, you're never an asshole.
You're never an asshole. It never says there's a $100 bill underneath your shoe. It's never predictions like that. These are generalizations that are called the Barnum effect. So stop what you're doing right now and look up the Barnum effect. There's 2 experiments that you guys should look. That's what he's
with 120 people. You just said you needed 60,000 people to make an example, but because he did it for 120 people, that's enough for him. Fact for him.
So that was
okay. I got it.
That was the first example. They've redone this. They actually did it on YouTube. You guys should check out the video. They've done this several times on YouTube, where they actually did they redid the Barnum effect several times, and every time it comes out the same way.
I got it right here. Okay, Barnum effect. It's also called the Forer effect. That's what I'm familiar with. In psychology, the phenomenon that occurs when individuals believe that personality descriptions apply specifically to them, more so than to other people, despite the fact that description actually filled with the information that applies to everyone. The effect means that people are gullible because they think that the information is about only them, when in fact the information is generic. The Barnum effect came from the phrase attributed, perhaps falsely, to showman P.T. Barnum.
No, it was a professor named Barnum.
Okay,
but it's not P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, okay. Sucker's born every minute. Okay, so psychics, horoscope,
sucker's born every second.
Magicians, palm readers, crystal ball gazers make use of the Barnum effect when they convince people that their description of them is highly special and unique and could never apply to anyone else. And by the way, this also applies to MBTI, which I have a real big problem with, which you all know. It's just the modern version of astrology. No one is ever an asshole. It's always, here's your letters, and this is
I call people assholes all the time.
So here's my take. I'm glad we got to this, because this is the part I wanted to get to here. When I'm dealing with people who are say, well, I'm this kind of personality, I'm introverted, I'm extroverted, I'm this, I'm an MBTI, I don't know, INTJ or whatever the fuck it is, right? These are classifications that men and women want to apply to themselves because it helps them sort out the fucking universe.
But it does one other thing. It takes accountability away from them. Which is the least red pill thing that you can fucking do. That we exist. Every day I wake up and the world will tell me how much I can bench, how much money I have, and which girl likes me. That's what my role as a man is, to always fight against those things and to improve myself. Accountability lies with myself. Extreme ownership, like Jocko Willink says. Any sort of accountability external from that is just cope. It is just
human beings
cope.
Okay, now more to your point here is human beings are really good at pattern recognition. We want to see the purple cow in the big field of the brown cows, right? If you're staring at an acoustic wall, you'll suddenly start seeing images in the wall. If you see have you ever been looking, cloud gazing, and you look and you see, oh, that looks like a dinosaur, that looks like this, that kind of shit right there.
Yeah, people on drugs do that.
We're visually based. We look for iconography. We look for patterns because that in our evolutionary past has helped us solve problems. So if there's a pattern and it's predictable, then we're going to develop a system that surrounds that so that we can predict the future, or predict whether or not the saber-toothed tiger is going to come eat us at night, or if it's going to come eat us in the daytime. Those kinds of things. So when we're looking for pattern recognition, that's part of our innate sort of mental firmware. Yeah. And so we want to believe that people are easier to sort out because they're a number, because they're a personality type, because they're an astrological
This is also
sign.
the basis for racism. Like this heuristics are the basis for racism. The other issue that goes on is that
racism.
Before
by the way,
where do we go from astrology to racism?
Because of heuristics in astrology and heuristics in racism.
Our ability to read patterns.
Astrology supersedes all that stuff.
No, right? Because we're we're bigoted towards people because of their astrological.
100%. 100%.
So bigotry is bigotry.
100%.
That's the hold on. Let me finish this. The additional part is this idea that before the scientific revolution, what happened was people believed that the universe, that the Earth was the center of the universe. This is the reason why Galileo was put on house arrest in 1633, because he told the Pope that the Earth goes around the sun. After he did that, before that point, people believed that they would see symbols in the sky. If you guys take a second, really, and I'm not saying that you believe in this, but Greco-Roman astrology, look at the constellation Leo and tell me if you can find a fucking lion there. There's none. But somehow the Vedic,
I don't do this.
I know. I just said that. The Vedics and the fucking Greco-Roman people believe that is the constellation Leo. The reason why they did that, though, is because they believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, and somehow the universe cared about them. Then later on, once we discovered things like supermassive black holes and the fact that there were multiple galaxies and that these galaxies were going away from each other at a constant rate, that's when we started to determine, no, these things are not because the universe cares about us. I am supposed to believe that a Jade Emperor had a race with 12 animals, and these 12 animals crossed a river to get to a party in a certain order.
Never said that.
And the first one that got across was a rat, and the last one to get across was a fucking dog. And because of that,
Pig.
the last one to get across a pig. And because of that, I'm supposed to then believe that that is more evidence than the hundreds and thousands of surveys that clearly prove that there is no correlation whatsoever to people born during the year of the monkey or the year of the snake. There's absolutely no correlation whatsoever.
You've had your time.
People.
You've had your time. Now let me speak. When you're born, you're imprinted with energy from the numbers you're born to the astrology you're born. When you're born, you're imprinted with energy. Now, just to give some basics of how this works, the rat is enemies with the horse. That is why Kobe and Shaq did not like each other. One was a rat, one was a horse. You say you can't predict things. The horse enemy is the rat. Kobe died in 2020, a rat year. So again, enemy signs. Next enemy sign combination.
But you didn't predict him to die.
Hold on. Let me finish. You had your sign. Let me say it now. Next enemy sign combination is the ox and the goat. Ox's personalities are strong arms. They're straight dictators. How do you know this? Look at the people who are oxes throughout history. Napoleon, Saddam, Hitler. They were all oxes, and the ox's enemy year is the goat. So let's talk about what happened. Saddam, born 1937, year of the ox. First Gulf War, 1991. You know that. You're a military guy. Second Gulf War, 2003. Both goat years, his enemy sign. Fact.
Circular argument.
Hitler was born.
Conclusion is included in the premise.
Hitler was born 1889, year of the ox. He lost Stalingrad. He lost Kursk in 1943. War over. That's it. His enemy year. That's examples over and over. America founded 1776, year of the monkey. Last year, America's economy was not too good. Why? Because it's the year of the tiger.
Okay.
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Tiger and monkey are enemy signs. Last year, who became a star? Who became the star last year? Your boy, the tiger, Tate. And when it happened?
He's a cobra.
No, I'm the fucking cobra.
Yeah.
He's the fucking tiger. Okay? He is born in 1986, the year of the tiger, and he became famous in 2022, the year of the tiger. Guess what? I told him what happened on the phone call in 2019.
I would argue it was way before that.
I would also argue that the Gulf War started in 1990, not 1991. You got that one wrong.
Wait. When did they invade?
They invaded in 1990.
No, they invaded in 1991.
Okay, they invaded in August 2nd, 1990 is when they invaded in the first Gulf War.
No. What was it? 1991.
91? No.
91. Something would happen in 91.
Okay. Well, they did not invade in 1990. 1991. So anyway, the point I'm making is you do this thing where you just keep throwing these numbers out.
I'm giving you examples, historic examples. I'm not even close to done. How about Joseph Stalin? Joseph Stalin, outstanding. Joseph Stalin, born in the year of the tiger. He dies in 1953. In 1956, the year of the monkey, the enemy of the tiger. They have de-Stalification when Khrushchev says this guy was horrible.
Well, why was he born during a different time than Hitler and those other people? Why was Stalin born at a different time when he's also a goat? He should be a dictator.
No, he's not a goat.
No, my point is, but he's acted like a goat. But he acted like a goat.
No,
did you see?
No.
Wait a second. Didn't he just say oxes? Didn't he just say the oxes? Didn't he just say the oxes were those three people? Joseph Stalin is more of an example of a dictator than those three. Joseph Stalin literally tortured
He's the biggest murderer other than Mao Zedong.
Yeah, correct. But the thing is,
who's a snake like me and you?
But the problem is, Joseph Stalin was a bigger dictator than those other people, and he wasn't an ox.
Most dictators are oxes.
But he wasn't an ox.
Most dictators are oxes.
How do you want to say
Hitler,
science?
Saddam.
How is this a science?
How is that not fact? I'm giving you the biggest names out there.
Charles Smith, Muammar Gaddafi. Let's go through Pol Pot. These people were not oxes.
Muammar Gaddafi was a revolutionary. He was not a fucking dictator. He was a revolutionary.
Muammar Gaddafi was not a.
He was spreading revolution throughout Africa.
Was he a tiger or an ox?
He was a horse. He was a revolutionary.
But this just doesn't fit at all. He was also a dictator, bro.
I was waiting for a tiger.
It's crazy, man.
But what he did was way different. He didn't murder his people like
he murdered a lot of his people.
Not his own. He murdered people in Sudan. He murdered people in other countries. He didn't actually try to genocide his own people. Now, I personally think Gaddafi was a good guy.
Okay.
But he was a horse.
Yes.
What was his number?
11. Charismatic leader, like most of the leaders, like Hosni Mubarak.
How was his number 11?
He's born 6/7/1942, 6/7/1942, adds up to 29, 2, 9, 11.
You have an eidetic memory.
What's that?
Eidetic memory. Well, I don't know that.
Photographic memory.
Yeah, photographic would be different. I think there's a different word for remembering numbers. But Garrick Sandoval asked, how do you explain people's moods change when Mercury's in Gatorade?
I don't do that shit. Talk to the fucking bitches about that garbage. I don't do that. Okay? Listen, I'm not fucking out here fucking giving matchmaking advice while I've been fucking divorced 3 times. That's those fucking bitches do that. I have been to the same woman for freaking 20 years. And I'm going to tell you guys out there something. I married my girl when I was broke. These red pill guys over here, and again, no offense, this is what the red pill community does.
I was broke too.
Okay, this is what these red pill communities guys tell you. They say, go out there, get rich, and then get your woman. Wrong, because all you're going to find is a freaking gold digger. That's a straight up fact. You need to find your woman when you're young, when you're broke, so you guys can grow together and bond together. And one more thing. Don't fuck around with American women.
I really don't have any problem with this, but I think there's a second solution, which is when you meet a woman and you're wealthy, just don't let her know you're wealthy. There's another way to do that.
So you're gonna lie to her?
No, I just don't let her know that I'm wealthy. Like I just don't.
So you're gonna lie to her?
No, I don't lie. I don't let her see how big my shits are either. It doesn't mean I'm lying to her. It's just a part of my life I don't let her see. That's it. So what I do, well, usually when I meet a girl, I wear black T-shirts and fucking Apple watches, and I drive my Lexus. I don't let her see that I'm wealthy. That's one of the things that I did. Now it's a little harder now because I have a big show, but like beforehand, it was very easy. I just never let women know how much money I made, and that actually helped a lot. But that's a different. I don't disagree with what you're saying, by the way, about money screwing people up.
The fact of the matter is, I am married for 20 years because I picked my bride based on numerology and astrology.
Okay.
How did that work? Tell me the science. What was the process?
No problem.
Is there a process?
I am born in the year of the snake. Mm-hmm. People who are born in the year of the snake are extremely jealous people. That's a fact. You're a jealous person.
No, not at all. Okay. Quite the opposite.
You can say whatever you want.
Quite the opposite.
Snakes tend to be very jealous and very vindictive. If someone crosses them, they're gonna fucking go after them. And by the way, psychology, when people do this, they're lying. So he just did that. So when it comes down to it, you got fact out. That's body language psychology.
Again, total hokum. Body language psychology.
When you touch your nose, you're lying, bro.
Bro, I have allergies. Number one.
Okay. You just had an allergy right after you said that.
I have allergies.
Okay.
I'll literally show you my doctor's report. I go to an allergist once a week. Number one. Number two, the whole body language thing has been completely thrown out of court. It is total hokum. It is total hokum. None of it is true. There's no one tell for any person. Even poker players will tell you this. The tell for guy A is different than the tell for guy B because there's no universal way to tell.
I'm going to trust you, not CIA agents and SB agents. Okay, whatever you
CIA agents do not tell you that they can do that. CIA agents do not tell you that they can always tell when someone's lying. They can
not always.
They can tell when someone's lying under duress for certain. But the other thing that they have is when they can tell people are lying is they have external information to be able to tell this. I'm 100%. I'm not a jealous person. Every girl you'll tell to will tell you 100%. Okay. They're like, I wish Michael was more jealous. Number two, there are people who have literally defamed me, and I say nothing about them. I'm not the least vindictive person you'll ever find. The problem is, I live in the real world, and there'll be multiple hundreds of people that will attest to what I'm saying. What you're saying, maybe it's true, but it's definitely not true about me, which is further to my point. Okay. It is not an exact science because it's not a science at all. That's the thing. I can find exceptions to every single thing that you're talking about.
Let's go through you, and you tell me if I'm wrong or right about you.
Sure.
Okay. You're born on the 5th. People who are born on the 5th all travel quite a bit in life. Is that true about you?
Not anymore. I think. But
no, I didn't. Not anymore. I said if it was true.
When I was in the military, I was forced to travel. Yeah, I hate travel.
You've had plenty of hoes on the team, correct?
Yeah, I mean, in my life, yeah.
So when it comes down to it, people born in the 5th.
I don't call them hoes.
Or whatever you want to call them. People born in the 5th, 14th, 23rd are extremely good looking, and people of the opposite sex like to spend their time with them. Is that true with you?
It certainly wasn't true until I was like maybe 35.
When it happened, doesn't matter.
I think that would count if it mattered. What if I died before the age of 35? Then this whole thing doesn't matter.
You didn't, though.
Yeah, but the point, like, it's just ridiculous. Like by the way, you're right. But the reason why people would want to spend more time with me is because I chose to take changes in my life. I took personal accountability. At no point did I consult with an astrologer. I went to the gym. I went to the gym and did this. I went to the gym. I was the one who created and founded an 8-figure business. I did this. It wasn't because of any number anyone told me. And for the vast majority of my life, no women liked me at all. So I don't agree with that.
So you didn't have women on your team?
Not until maybe 10 years ago.
I got a question.
That's the majority.
He's making a reading. Let him finish. Okay. Keep going.
2019, did you have an off year?
No, it was the best year of my life. The most money I've ever made in my life was in 2019.
2007.
That was the second most money I've ever made in my life.
2007.
In 2007,
okay.
Yeah.
So here's what basically happens. When you're in your enemy year and you start making money in your enemy year, bad things happen as a result. So the money you made in 2019, which is your enemy year, by the way, the pig is the enemy of the snake. You have to watch out because the money you made, the stuff you invest that in is going to come back to you and it's going to haunt you. That's how this game works. So you have to understand when to do things and when not to. It's extremely important to understand. For instance, enemy signs. You never want to sleep with a girl who's your enemy sign because what's going to happen is you're going to have unwanted babies. And by the way, you're going to be the most attracted to your enemy sign. For instance, people who are born in the year of the snake, their enemy sign is the pig. That's who they're going to be the most attracted to. People who are born in the year of the rat are going to be the most attracted to rat. Horses.
Wouldn't the snake be the enemy of everybody?
Yeah, for sure. Like most mammals,
This is comedy. You shouldn't be talking shit about snakes because you're a snake. And by the way, you live in Las Vegas, which was founded in 1905, a snake year. You flourished here. Also, let's talk about the people in the past who flourished in Las Vegas. Mr. Wynn. Mr. Wynn's born in the snake year in 1989, he basically re-evolutionized Las Vegas. 1989 is a snake year because that's when Mirage was built. Let's go even further. Howard Hughes.
No, he had the golden nugget before that.
1989 is when the Vegas revolution on the Strip started with the Mirage. With the Mirage. That's a fact. That's a fact. We're not even arguing.
1980 is when Caesar's Palace was rebuilt. Also, that you could say it's way
Mirage. It was Mirage.
Mirage is Mirage is like the 10th best.
When it opened, it was the gold mine. 1989, and that's why I'm basically trying to tell you.
In 89. The Mirage did.
Yes, the Wynn opened.
The Mirage is like
the Wynn opened.
Mirage is a mid-tier.
The Wynn opened on the 28th, and it's the best grossing hotel in Vegas because it was founded on the 28th. Why don't you guys look on Wikipedia and see it yourself? So here's the point. Here's the point when it comes down to it. Sam Rothstein, the guy who was in Casino, they made a movie about him.
Sure.
He was also born in your snake, just like Howard Hughes. And Floyd Money Mayweather, the reason he lives in Vegas is because he's born 1977, the year of the snake, and this is a snake city. So you guys can say all the mumbo jumbo you want, but the fact of the matter is
saying mumbo jumbo.
Works.
Okay, we're the ones saying
mumbo
jumbo.
So here's a few things. Now,
yes.
So you were just mentioning your wife and signs and enemy years and everything. Okay, this is Ted, psychologist Dr. Bernie Silverman of Michigan State University tested the effect of astrological compatibility on marriages. He surveyed astrologers across the country on compatibility of the 12 zodiac signs in studying 2,978 marriages, 478 divorce records in Michigan. Dr. Silverman found couples whose marriages were made in horoscope, heaven united, and split up just as frequently as those who were not astrologers.
Horoscopes based on other people's information, not mine.
Correct. So just so we're clear, do you put any weight in any sort of Greco-Roman astrology, or all of that is hokum as well?
I believe that 90% of astrologers are frauds.
Oh no, I understand. But is there any true Greco-Roman astrology? Is what I'm asking you.
If you're asking me if there's a little bit of truth to it, yes, but it's like so vague. It's like a
because there's no science. Because every time an experiment is done, every time they show no correlation within the astrological
they don't know what to look for. They don't know what to look for. They're going off information these broads make up. Well, this is all nonsense.
There was a male astrologer in the last one that I saw as well.
I'm the only one in the game, dude. There's no one else here. The only people who do this from a male perspective, all my students. That's a fact.
I got you. Here we go.
Again, you're talking about studies from people who don't have the right information. They're studying stuff. Tell me. I can't defend that stuff.
All right, I'm not saying I'm not trying to have you defend that. Astrology fails to adequately answer a number of other important questions. What is the mechanism the planets use to exert their influence over men? Suppose, like you just said, the moon pulls on everybody and makes everybody nuts, right? So that's why I read this one. Okay, supposedly we are affected by the gravitational pull of the heavenly bodies at the exact moment of our birth.
I say when that water breaks.
However,
hold on.
This is absurd.
Hold on. I say when that water breaks, you're imprinted with energy. So if you're born in the 7th, you're going to be extremely smart. The casinos use this stuff too. Gamble starts with G. G is the 7th letter. How many cards in the deck, my friend?
52.
What's 5 and 2?
7.
Okay. So again, you have to understand that casinos
What's the most common
this.
dice combination? 2.
7. There you go.
Number of the gambler. The casinos did this on purpose.
Illuminati proved.
Or perhaps it's because
Illuminati
confirmed. It's 50-50 chance. Could be that too. Supposedly, we are affected by the gravitational pull of the heavenly bodies at the exact moment of our birth. However, this is absurd. At least this is the opinion of Andrew Franknoy. I can't remember the guy.
I don't think much of Andrew's opinions at all.
Executive officer of the Astronomical Society of the Pacific in San Francisco, an international scientific and educational organization. The gravitational pull of the obstetrician is 6 times that of Mars.
Correct.
Okay, guys.
He has also pointed at the hospital building in which the person has been born 500,000 times more than the gravitational pull of Mars.
Guys, you're basically pulling up like Dr. Fauci's work and asking me to defend it. I cannot defend other people.
I'm not gravity.
This is all garbage.
Measurable.
Okay, listen.
You're at
basically asking me to defend stuff. I have nothing to do with.
No true Scotsman.
Okay.
This is, again, the no true Scotsman defense. All the other astrologers are wrong.
Then why would the moon make any difference in criminality?
You brought up the moon. That's the reason why we're bringing this up.
I brought up the moon because it pulls on tides, and 70% of the human body is water. Right. So obviously that would make something. I didn't say anything about Jupiter. I didn't say anything about Saturn. Okay. You guys did. I didn't. Okay. So let's make that clear. I'm talking about Earth astrology, Vedic, Chinese, Vietnamese, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Because on this planet where we're all born, you're born on this planet, right?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're all born on this planet. So when it comes down to it, this astrology is the one that affects us. Don't tell me about some other broad who's been divorced 3 times.
I agree with
what she said. Okay. I'm telling you about what I do.
We talk about jit crap all the time.
My whole thing is like your astrology. It's like when you multiply any number by 0, you get 0. Yours is just as inaccurate as theirs. That's the problem. The idea that like somehow the world imbued with this knowledge that nobody else. I've had several sports bettors on here. Here's the funny thing. As soon as I had a Flat Earth Dave on here, you know what happened the next day? I had a bunch of other Flat Earthers.
I called the Super Bowl 3 times in a row, by the way.
Listen, you called the Super Bowl 3 times. I've called the Super Bowl 3 times in a row too. That it doesn't mean anything. Listen,
it means I'm a good handicapper because of numerology.
You could be a good
because
handicapper.
I use numerology and astrology.
So here we go. One at a time. So what'll happen is the day after I had Flat Earth Dave on my podcast, I had a bunch of Flat Earthers hit me up and be like, that dude's a fraud, and you should listen to my version of Flat Earth. The day I had Vegas Dave on my podcast to talk about sports betting, after that, I had numerous other sports bettors hit me up and be like, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So this is called the no true Scotsman defense. Basically, everyone else is false except me because this is provably untrue. The reason why nobody does Greco-Roman astrology is because there's so many videos right now that just completely dunk on Greco-Roman astrologers. The reason why he's doing Chinese astrology is because nobody even thinks to try to debunk it because
you can't debunk it.
Well, you can because there has been a video. It was a TED Talk where this one woman, she went through all these famous people and all these billionaires that lived in China and showed that there was no correlation between wealth and what sign you are. This is unassailable. This is over. There is no correlation whatsoever.
How many black billionaires are there?
12, 15, somewhere around there.
Okay. Michael Jordan born on the 17th. Kanye West born on the 8th. Most of the black billionaires you're going to find are born on the 8th, 17th, 26th, or 28th because those are money numbers. What people have to understand is...
But they're black billionaires. Do you see how you just cherry-picked again? What if they're part black? What if they're 1/8 black?
That's the whole point I'm trying to tell you. There's not that many of them, and the ones that are there have that number. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's not scientific at all.
The scientific fact is this. You go to Walmart, all the prices are in 8/8 because 8's the number of money. You go to Rolex, all their ads have a 28 in it because it's the number of wealth. What you believe is irrelevant. What the people in power believe actually matters. And you might have an 8-figure business, and guess what? I might have one too. But the fact of the matter is, you're a pleb, I'm a pleb, he's a pleb. We might be high-class plebs, but we're plebs.
I agree with that.
We're not the elite, and the people who are in power, they use this stuff. So you might choose to reject this. You might see this as fallacy, and that is your opinion.
Sure.
And that's all more power to you. The fact of the matter is this. The people in positions of power, they use this. And let me just finish with this.
Yeah.
You want to say this is nonsense? What do you know about Steve Jobs? Do you know he went to India before he started Apple?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think
the reason he went to India was to study numerology and astrology. Because in India, numerology and astrology is supreme. That's what they do over there. Hold on, I'm not done.
Okay.
If you look at Apple alone, ask yourself, mathematically, 1 in 9 chance for any number to come. He's a 28 life path. He founded Apple 3/1/1976. He incorporated it. 3/1/1977, and he incorporated 4/1/1976. He's a 28. He started the company on a 28th day, and he incorporated on the 28th day. The chances of that just happening...
It's 1 in 30. Or 1 in 90.
1 times 9 is 27. Times 9 is a lot more than 1 in 90, my friend. You're talking about 1 in 9, 1 in 9, 1 in 9. So the fact that... Hold on. The fact of the matter is this.
I got him.
This stuff works if you actually pay attention. You're just doing fluff stuff. Oh, this doesn't make sense. You have to dive into it. You have to really dive into it. No, you didn't dive into it.
I dove into Vedic astrology. And you know what I found out?
I'm not doing Vedic astrology.
The Supreme Court.
I don't do Vedic astrology.
But you just brought up Steve Jobs going to India. That's what I'm talking about.
I said numerology.
No, you said
numerology.
You said astrology and numerology.
That is true. I did say that.
And when he went there, they're so deep into numerology and astrology that the Supreme... Stop the video and look at this up on your own. The Supreme Court of India has now trying to make it illegal to teach astrology in schools. People can get a PhD in astrology in India. It's utter nonsense. And this is one of the problems. We are so uneducated as a society when it comes to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The idea of teaching numerology and astrology at school is dangerous. It's actually dangerous. This is a fun thing for people to talk about, whatever, bet on whatever.
I got 20 employees who do numerology and astrology for a living. You're telling me this is garbage?
No, I'm telling you that sports betting, a lot of people would say that's garbage. You make money from selling picks, not from actually betting.
No, I do both. I do both.
Okay, that sounds good. So what you need to do is have a little bit more of a clear track record and try to make sure you keep those screenshots and instead of letting them go away with your Twitter accounts. And if you do that before, again, you're going to show me wins. This is a more Texas sharpshooter thing. You're going to show me money you do have.
Parlays,
it doesn't matter. You're not going to show me losses. You're only going to show me wins.
You want to follow me for a month and we'll see if I win or more or lose? You're more than welcome to. I'm betting 10, 20K day.
Do you have more wins than losses? Do you predict things accurately more than you predict things falsely?
I will do it this way. I don't do straight bets. I'm not Vegas Dave. I don't bet minus 200, minus 150. I believe that's a sucker.
Okay, let's take money out of it, like predictions.
Hold on.
How accurate are your predictions?
The only predictions that matter are the ones against the line. Any idiot can pick in the minus 900, okay?
Well, you just predicted Trump and some political stuff, too. I mean, just take it out of the realm of betting for a moment. Like, how accurate are your predictions?
Extremely accurate. I'd say 80%.
So you would say 20% fail, 80% success.
So not in sports though. Not in sports.
Okay, not in sports. Okay, got it.
Not in sports, but in politics, stuff like that, I'm pretty dead on. I mean, for instance, I was invited to White House for a reason.
Okay, can we? Do you have another question? Because I have a bunch of questions I want to ask.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, cool. I'm not trying to say pro.
Let me throw one quick thing out here. I forget what the name of the author that threw this out. I think it might have been Asimov, but it was. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Magic, yeah.
And that's applicable to so many different things. So we have a capacity for magical thinking, and that's a feature, not a bug, by the way. So when we're imaginative, it's just as important as knowledge is as well. So the problem with it is that imagination, that capacity for magical thinking can be just as damaging as it can be a benefit to us as well.
So can driving a car if you kill people.
I understand that.
So what I'm saying knowledge is never the problem. It's how people use it.
The fact is that the machine, that is the human body, that is the human brain, has a capacity for wonderment and to wonder, like, is this really for real? Is this bullshit? Are there ghosts? Are there UFOs? Are there this? Is numerology this? I want to look for patterns. That is a feature, not a bug. So we can have advanced science as a result of having this imagination, or this capacity for imagination, but we can also have it as being something that's like the cause of the worst human atrocities as well. So we have to take things sort of like into a holistic look at all this whole thing. So when we're looking at something that we say this is a damaging belief. Some people will say religion is like that. Some people will say astrology, any superstitions, tarot cards, whatever is the woo-woo magical thinking energy, whatever. That is unmeasurable.
So you don't believe in spirituality at all?
I do, but not in the sense that you're thinking here. So what I'm saying is that we have the capacity to imagine something that is beyond the physical. And what happens is when we let that get out of hand and we don't use that with rationality and reason, that's when you get into trouble, and that's when society.
Here's a great example of that. So the Chinese New Year is February 5th, and on February 4th, if you go look, there's this unbelievably high number of cesarean sections that happen in China because these people do not want their child born on a certain year.
Outstanding. That's exactly what they should be doing.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what they should be doing.
Absolutely
you know what?
terrible.
You can say whatever you want, but you go to the royal family and you see they're having C-sections, and most of the kids in the royal families are 11s, 22s, 33s. So again, you can say whatever you want, but the people in the royal family, like Prince William, is an 11. His father is an 11. And by the way, the queen who just died.
I would not use either one of those as an example for anyone's great.
But wait a second. Wait a second. They were 11s and they were C-sections because the royal family wants people who are master numbers. Again, look at the presidential races.
How do they control that?
You would have them born at a certain time, so you pick when the C-section happens.
They pull them out at the right time.
You're having healthy young women having unnecessary surgery because of this hokum. Yes.
Got it. Well, I didn't understand.
Basically, both my kids were cesareans, and they both were picked on the same day. And guess what? Extremely healthy kids, because you know what? I basically made sure they would be born wealthy. I'm doing well, but you want to make sure. You don't know what's going to happen 100% in the future.
Sure.
No one knows 100%. I made sure, because of numerology and astrology, my kids are set up for life with money. Other things, that's not the only thing in life. No doubt about it. But they are set up for money because I made sure they were born on the same day, on a certain day. I suggest that people start looking at this stuff and do the same thing. Again, don't take my word for it. Forget what they're saying. Look what the elite are doing. Prince William, obviously, some people might be disappointed in him. Prince Charles, another crackpot. I get it. But the fact is they were born on certain days because they had sincerity sections. And you're not going to sit there and tell me you know more than the royal family.
No, I'm going to tell you that if you're going to tell me that elitists, if you're going to tell me that elitists believe this, I don't disagree with you. I think they do. It doesn't make it true, though.
I see. So people who are way more smarter and way more wealthier than you, and you actually think that?
If you watch anything, like read any documentaries about the way the royal family is treated, they're not smarter than you.
How many people? The question is not about the royal family.
Barack Obama will run circles around.
How many?
We're not talking about Barack Obama. We're talking about the elite. I said the elite. The royal family.
I said the elite.
And you said the royal family.
How many?
They're part of the elite.
I got it. How many dumbasses were born on the same day? How many kids with Down syndrome
were born on the same day? How many dumb people were born on the 7th? How many dumb people were born on the 7th?
Here's the point. Much less than any other number.
Again, there is no science behind this whatsoever.
And there's no science behind what you're saying either.
There absolutely is. There are numerous studies that show there is no IQ distribution by day that you were born in the month. Absolutely, unequivocally, unassailably, zero. There is none. There's numerous hundreds of studies that show this. There is no correlation between day you're born and IQ. 0.000.
People, I want you to do this. Forget what we're both saying. Go in your life and look at the smartest people when they were born, and you're going to see they're born in the 7th, 16th, 25th, or their 7th life paths. You can laugh all you want, but I give readings to teachers. I give readings to college professors, and they all the time say the smartest kids are born in the 7th, 16th, 25th. Just like I tell you the most charismatic people are born on the 11th and 29th. And guess what? Jesus Hotep, who made it, he's an 11. How do you think he made it? Candace Owens, born on the 29th, 2911.
A software company. That's how he made it. So here's the other one.
11 life paths.
You mentioned this before. White people are better with technology, and black people are better with nature. You said that before.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
Are there any other specifics that you believe about different ethnicities?
Yeah, I believe Mexicans and Latinos are way harder working people than most others.
Okay, got it. And you said 70% of women you believe are communists. Or believe
they think like communists.
They think like communists.
And I can actually
maybe egalitarian. Is communist the word you want to use?
Actually,
I would say 70% of women think like communists. And again, I'm not trying to disrespect the women out there who are hardcore conservatives. I'm not trying to disrespect them. But 70% of them are communists, and I can actually prove this.
Okay.
In 2002, when the U.S. overthrew Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, they overthrew him. They had a new president set up. It was the women who came into the streets, the women who protested, and they got Hugo Chavez released from their American prison, and all of a sudden, Venezuela went to hell. Because women... they always want someone to take care of them psychologically. And if it's not going to be your daddy, it's not going to be a boyfriend or a father, it's going to be the goddamn government. 1917, Russia. The Bolshevik Revolution started with women protesting. This is a fact. And the fact of the matter is, I rue the day that women gain control of any freaking nation from any power standpoint, because 80% of them are not emotionally ready for leadership. But you know what? That's where the numerology comes in. Because one is male energy, and if a woman's born on the 1st, 19th, 28th, she will have more leadership ability than even some men. Fact.
So you mentioned before, this is another thing, and I'm just curious because I feel like you could make a lot of money from this. You said all disease can be cured through sound. Could you maybe use some of your finances to find ways to make some of these cures? You said
I'm not a scientist.
So, but you believe all cure,
yes.
all disease, and you also said that the mainstream media wouldn't want this out. Although I will mention one of the biggest podcasts of all time. It was a serial, not like serial, but it was one of the early podcasts. Was literally on this idea. It was the idea that there was a species somewhere else spending. It was very similar to the movie Contact, where they were using sound and it was killing humans, and then they used sound in order to heal them. So this idea has been out there. Well, my point is, what you said was anybody who comes out with that idea publicly is going to get black helicopters and vans or whatever. Do you have any proof that all disease can be cured through sound?
Do I have any proof? No, I do not. I'm not a scientist.
By the way,
I'm not a scientist. That is a theory I have.
Got it. It's a theory. Got it. Okay.
Just like the scientists have theorisms,
Beautiful.
That is my theorism. I also believe, fair. And I want people to understand this.
Totally
I also believe that running water is something that can help calm people and soothe people down.
There's science behind that. There is science behind that.
So the fact of the matter is, whenever I'm in a hotel room, I always leave the running water. I always leave it on because I personally believe, forget the science, I personally believe that just that sound, basically has different vibrational energy that goes around it that's healing to some people. I believe that being by the ocean heals people physically, psychologically, things of that nature.
Sure.
That comes for me because of my understanding of numerology and astrology. You might find a way that says, okay, science backs this too. Cool. But there's certain things right now the science won't back that it will in 200, 100 years.
But see, what you just did is you just removed the faith out of what you were talking about.
I have no faith.
I understand
only
that,
have
but
facts.
what I'm saying is this, is like you have a faith in the fact that there's some sort of healing energies in like the sound of running water, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if science goes and says, yes, it will indeed.
I'm happy the science caught up.
Okay,
I'm happy the science caught up.
Hold
Good
tight.
stuff.
Let me finish this one because this is real good. Okay, so if I can prove to you that in our evolutionary past, our ancestral past, that the sound of rain or the sound of the ocean or running water meant we're close to water, and so therefore we have some sort of a better personal
chance of
security,
survival. Exactly,
better chance of survival because now, hey, the rains are coming on the
and it's also one less area we can be attacked from. That's exactly right.
So now what I've done with common sense is I have ruined the faith that there's some sort of like cosmic energy
in your mind,
in the idea.
In your mind,
no, in the actual proof of the science that's showing behind the scenes here that this is like, remember what I told you about. If any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So if you think the magic is that the sound of running water is going to make your energies align and your chakras go whatever the fuck they are, and then I can go and I can say, hey, look, here's the science behind it.
You don't even believe in that stuff.
Here's the science behind this. I know you don't. I'm not saying
you don't.
I'm not saying I do either. But
I believe in chakras.
But the science behind that is now ruining the faith that you had in the fact that this was energy or chakras or
you mean just because
just
because the science backs what I believe now it ruins what I believe in the first place?
No,
that makes no sense.
Not at all.
But your reasoning for it does ruin.
But it pulls it out of the metaphysical and puts it into
objective.
If I believe what I believe from one standpoint and you believe what you believe from a different standpoint, that doesn't basically say invalidate my argument.
Yes, it does.
I will be happy. I will be happy that you found a different correction. Like for instance, you could take this street to get to this location. I'll take this street. Me driving from the left and you driving from the right does not disprove that I'm coming from this direction.
No, right.
It does not.
The results are the same, but I'll give you an example. Like so, for instance, there were certain constellations that would rise in the sky before the Nile would flood in Egypt, and so they started to correlate those constellations with the flooding of the Nile. What they did incorrectly, though, is they believed that the Nile flooded because of the constellations as opposed to the position of the Earth and the Sun. And so they came to the reasoning, the correct result, but they came to it incorrectly because they switched cause and effect. That's where the difference is. But I want to get to this question I want to ask you real quick. The other one is, you believe Nikola Tesla and or Donald Trump are time travelers? They could be time travelers.
It is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible.
Time traveling from the back.
I believe Elon Musk is a time traveler.
How are you time traveling backwards in time? I'm just curious from scientific standpoint.
I don't believe. First of all, I'm not a scientist.
Okay.
This is not numerology and astrology. These are my theories. Okay. So I don't want to be challenged. Oh, you're a fraud. This is what I believe. Okay. Can't bring up statistics. This and this and this. I can say that when it comes down to Mr. Tesla, he does certain things that people didn't do. And like, for instance, he wouldn't sleep. He would sleep for 20 minutes and then wake up. He would just sleep in for months. Now, I believe that's what people are going to do in the future. So for me, that's one thing I can look at and be like, okay, that doesn't make sense, but he's doing something that might be something that they might do in the future. I personally believe Keanu Reeves is a time traveler.
Okay, got it.
Okay, when you look at
Isaac Newton would then be a time traveler.
From the future or from the past?
You said that, not me. When I look at Keanu Reeves, when he takes pictures with females, he always puts his palms out like this.
Yeah.
This is something I believe they're going to do in the future when the feminists take over.
He did that after the Me Too movement. That's
okay, I understand.
It's called
I believe.
By the way, I do the same thing because
it's called hover hands.
I believe this is
hover hands.
I believe this is something that more and more people are going to do. But here's the point: time travelers can't have kids because they don't belong in this timeline. If you don't belong in this timeline, you can't have kids. Tesla did not have kids. What's his name? Keanu Reeves can't have kids. In the movie The Time Traveler's Wife, it said specifically in that movie, time travelers cannot have kids. So again, I can't tell you for 100%. I can put things here and here. I personally believe that Tesla is a time traveler.
Okay, the Zionist faction of the CIA. Can you go into Zionists, what you believe Zionists are?
You really want to do this?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely do.
Okay. I'm Jewish, by the way.
Okay.
I want to make this abundantly clear. I am Jewish.
Shalom.
Okay.
Shalom.
You don't have any faith, but you are Jewish. Like
I don't go to temple.
Heredity.
I don't go to temple. I don't believe in that stuff.
Okay.
I don't need a Bible to tell me not to steal. I don't need the Quran
to
tell me not to cheat on my wife. Okay. So here's the point. When I look at the Zionists, I believe they're running this freaking world.
Okay.
I believe that if you look at Zionism as a whole, they control the money, they control the politics, and if you look at it downright, almost every billionaire I know is Jewish. Personally, that I know is Jewish. Now, if it wasn't them, it'd be someone else. That simple.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of billionaires who aren't Jewish, but I just wanted to get some clarification on that, because the next thing I wanted to talk about is you believe that Julian Khashoggi was murdered because he had the word hog in his name.
No. Come on, man. That was a joke. Don't take those Twitter
Okay,
stuff.
got it. So that was a Twitter.
Joke.
No, you said it. You said it. You said those words. Hotep Jesus.
That was when you look at CIA. The CIA was founded in 1947, the year of the pig. So again,
so was the U.S. Air Force, by the way.
Of course. So when it comes down to it, I was associating the CIA being a pig faction with Khashoggi. Now, if you really want to talk about it, CIA owns social media. That's why you have the word CIA in social media. That's why they call it social media. The CIA runs it.
How is that? How does that? CIA is in social media.
The CIA
you mean
runs,
the letters?
They own social media.
Got it.
How do you think a guy like Mr. Beast becomes it? Like, all you have to do is look at Mr. Beast's logo. Look at the same colors, that light blue, that pink, and all of a sudden you see, oh, wait a second, those are the same colors as the transgender flag. And then all of a sudden his buddy Chris becomes a woman. This is all garbage. They controlled him. They paid him to do this stuff. Jenner. Okay. Bruce Jenner. Okay. Bruce Jenner got in a car accident and killed someone right before he made that transition. I personally believe, I can't prove this. I personally believe someone in a position of power came to him and be like, listen, you put on a dress, you start doing this, we'll get rid of this stuff.
I think he had transitioned before that, but he was named Woman of the Year 4 months after he killed someone. That is
I believe things like that happen. I look to ways to connect the dots, and sometimes I use numerology and astrology to do it. Sometimes I do it with common sense. For God's sake, you read a freaking book based on common sense. So again, common sense is like a freaking superpower right now.
The other one I thought was really interesting is that Yes We Can from Barack Obama. You believe?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Wiccan. So
I believe
that Barack Obama openly was like, hey, you know what?
Yes.
Let's promote Wiccan ideology.
Yes.
And so that's why he was saying yes, we can.
I believe that Barack Obama is the most powerful person in the U.S. government in at least 50, 60 years. He runs the deep state. He got Trump elected. And he stole the election right from Trump in 2020. Barack Obama is the shadow president of the United States, and I fully expect Michelle Obama to be the Democratic nominee.
Okay, well, finally, a testable prediction. Okay, very nice.
Hey, man, I got ruined last time because I thought Kamala Harris would be the president because I thought Biden would die before.
I mean, but see, there's evidence behind that. You don't need numerology to see that he's old. He's 80 years old.
No. Let's go through the president since you brought it up. Joe Biden is an 11 life path. The president before the guy who was the Democrat before him president, Barack Obama, 8-4 in 1961, another 11th life path. Before that, it was John Kerry running, born on the 11th. On the Republican side, John McCain, born on the 29th. Sarah Palin, born on the 11th. Over and over, you'll see a majority of these candidates have 11 energy. By the way, my favorite president of all time, the last real president in American history, John F. Kennedy, was born on the 29th.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about was the idea
2
that
and 9. Got it. Okay.
So this is
you're catching on, brother.
This is a really controversial thing. Is that the idea that you believe that all homosexuals are created? There's no genetic part of homosexuality or even hormonal. You believe that it's all behavioral and stimulus.
Let's look at John. What's that guy who got fired from CNN?
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Donald Trump was born on the 14th.
Yeah. Okay. He's had a lot of women in his life.
Yeah, I get that, but he was the president too, right? I mean, does that?
He was born on 1
but
and 45.
also,
can we go back to the subject? So,
all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
You were saying that 100% of homosexuals are created; they're not born.
Okay. Don Lemon, who's a famous homosexual.
Yep.
He was molested as a child.
Okay.
I believe that when kids are molested, it changed their chakras, and all of a sudden, what they're interested in is more of a sadistic nature. Homosexuals are not born; they are created. How do you know this? Because right now, 20% of the youth, millenniums, basically say they're they identify
as non-binary, not as homosexual.
Whatever. They identify with all that garbage. The point of the matter is, this is what happens when leftists get control of your school system. They start pumping this garbage down your throat because they want the family unit broken. That's why they do this stuff. They want the family unit broken, and it started with feminism. First, it was feminism. They got basically the women to say, you know what? We don't need these men. We'll have the government take care of us. What happened? All of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of single kids who are being raised by single mothers. And a woman can, quote me on this, no woman can teach a boy how to become a man. It's not possible. So when you have a society based off single mothers, what you have is a whole bunch of beta freaking males who get created. And guess what? Those beta males start becoming more and more liberal. And then again, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper.
I don't disagree with your last part, but the first part is you're sort of conflating two different things, right? So for instance, there are studies that show that people who are molested are more likely to molest. That is correct. We found studies in that. But the problem with what you're saying about the homosexual thing is that there's a study.
Are you a homosexual?
No.
Okay.
There's a study. It's called what's it called? Dataclysm. Yeah. Remember the book Dataclysm? So what they do is they look at gay searches by state, and it's the same in every state, the same number. So you're saying it's the same number of molestation per state?
I would tell you there's probably a lot more homosexuals in California than there are in South Dakota.
They may have moved there, but like initially what they found is that there's the same level. Here's the other thing. When they look at abuse, the people tend to claim to be abused when they came out as homosexuals as young children. When they come out as homosexuals when they're older, they claim less abuse. So meaning what you're saying is that the redheaded stepchild was abused because when he got abused, he became redheaded, as opposed to him being abused because he's redheaded. And the point is, what I'm saying is there tends to be higher levels of child abuse for people who are homosexual when they come out when they're younger. When they come out when they're older, it doesn't seem to hold the case. Also, the vast majority of homosexuals do not claim to have been sexually molested.
No, that's what they claim. So
you're saying like 90% variance of them being molested. I'm just using math. I don't care about this.
I'm going to say a couple things. I find it very interesting that when lesbian couples go to adopt, they don't care if it's a boy or a girl. It's 50-50. When gay male couples go to adopt, they want boys 90% of the time. You do the fucking math. What the hell does that mean? You do the math. True. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, but most Chinese people wanted boys also. It wasn't to molest them. It's because they felt that boys were more useful.
All I'm going to tell you is 2 gay guys want little boys 90% of the time. You do the math. Whatever observation you come from that's good for you.
So I think you're missing correlation with causality. Like what I'm saying is the priesthood doesn't make people into child molesters. Child molesters choose the priesthood. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of both.
I think that because there's several priests who don't molest children. I think what happens is people who they're hiding the fact that they're pedophiles, and they're hiding the fact that they're homosexuals, and they look for a place to hide, and they choose the priesthood.
I'm sure predators do that. They've been doing that forever.
For sure.
But what I'm basically trying to tell you, it's both. It's not just one.
Well, that's both. What you said. You said so there's plenty of proof that homosexuals are not created, that they're born. Because there's plenty of, because the distribution of homosexuals.
I don't think homosexuals are born.
That's what I'm saying. There's plenty.
I don't think homosexuals.
I know
we're
agreeing. I agree that you don't believe that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Well, there's plenty of proof that they are born that way. Because
I disagree.
Because there's again, if what you're saying is true, then there wouldn't be a normal distribution of them throughout the country. What you'd have is the states that have more molestation would have higher levels. Like for instance, the states in the South, that like Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, they report lower levels of homosexuality, even though that's probably a misreporting. But they have higher levels of child abuse. And so what would happen is you'd have higher levels of homosexuals coming from those states. You don't see that. That's the math I'm trying to point to.
3% of society identified as homosexuals about 30 years ago. Now it's about 20. That's a big difference, bro. That's because
you're conflating homosexual
societal narrative.
You're conflating homosexual males from
I'm telling you, they're created. They are created by the school system, by the educational system. They are created. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Eddie Izzard and Caitlyn Jenner are both men presenting as women attracted to women. Okay,
they're both people who got paid off to basically influence other people to do the same thing.
My point is men presenting as women, like attracted to women, are different from men who are attracted to men who are interested in men. Those are two different things. That's why I really have a massive problem with the lesbian argument with a gay argument. Those are two different things. Homosexual women have completely different biologies and neurologies than gay men. I don't know why they can't.
I agree. Yeah. First of all, I have no issues with lesbians.
But that 20%, is part lesbian.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
I have no problems with lesbians. Number one, lesbians don't really spread STDs. And most lesbians in a relationship, not because of sex, they're in a relationship because of a relationship or emotional bond. gay men, when they're in a relationship, it's purely about sex. They spread STDs, monkeypox, all that other crap. There's nothing good that comes from that shit. Absolutely nothing. But I won't want to say this, especially to the red pill community. You don't consider men and you don't hold women to the same standard as men, do you?
No, you can't.
Okay, I don't.
Right. Yeah,
So my basically what I want to tell you guys is, if you guys hold lesbians and gays to the same standard, why? There's absolutely no need for it.
I'm a little lost.
If you don't hold women to the same standards as men, you can't get upset at them for being lesbians, because they're basically like kids.
I'm definitely not upset of any woman for being a lesbian. I am very pro. I don't have any.
Yeah, you're pro because I get it. You're a 5. Look at this guy, man. All this stuff he talks about.
5,
he runs this stuff, and he's a 5 life path. This is what. No, he's a 3 life path, but he's born on the 5th. My apologies.
I thought you were 3. Got what else you got? I was looking at I wanted to look at the stats for homosexual adoptions. I did not know that.
Yeah, listen.
It's more. You are correct.
If you go and you look at the LGBT flag.
Studies show that gay male couples adopt girls more than boys, though.
That's garbage.
Gary's very wrong about this. 90% of gay men adopting more boys. Please stick to the facts.
That's 100% fact. When it comes down to it, I want you guys to look at the gay flag. It has the color red on top and the color purple on the bottom. Red is the number of it's the color of sexuality. The first vowel in red is E. The first vowel in sex is E. And when you look at that, you're going to see a correlation based off E being the 5th letter, as we talked about before, 5 being the number of sexual energy. So when people want to basically, women who are listening, if you want to seduce people, wear the color red. That's why they have the woman in the movie The Matrix, the lady in red. There's certain colors you can wear to stimulate people in a certain way.
Yeah, the reason for that is because it simulates the flushing of sexual arousal. That's why women put rouge on their faces.
We're not trying to have a discussion about gay marriage or anything.
You brought it up, not me.
No. Listen, it was strictly a mathematical equation.
Yeah.
Because this is something, and in evolutionary psychology, one of the things they want to know is like, why do some people become gay? One of the most prevalent
mass
theories,
propaganda.
One of the most prevalent. Again, the thing is, you keep confusing. You keep throwing lesbians and trans people and homosexuals together. Homosexuals are by themselves. They do one thing, lesbians do a different thing, and trans people do a different thing. That's my point. So when that 20% number, 4.5% of men claim to be homosexual, that 20% number includes all those groups. And I'm not saying this because I'm an activist. I'm saying this because from an evolutionary psychology standpoint, there needs to be an explanation for something that's this pervasive. And there were no communists back during the Greek Roman times when there were also homosexuals, and there were no communists back during the book of Leviticus either, when they also talked about homosexuals. So this is something pervasive throughout history. Why does it exist? The most common evolutionary psychology theory is that you had about 40% of men throughout history have procreated, about 80% of women. So you had surplus men, and this was maybe an evolutionary solution for surplus men.
No. What happened was when they wanted society to start growing in the 1860s in Russia. In the 1860s in America, they got rid of serfdom, they got rid of slavery, because you cannot have a capitalistic economy without a middle class. And to have a middle class,
sure,
you have to have a capitalistic economy. So they got rid of all that stuff. The whole point is this. The elite. They wanted to build things up. They wanted to
aristocracy
build, of there's always an elite. For lack of a better term, I'll call them the Rothschilds, because that's a term that most people understand.
I'm pretty sure the Rothschilds were around the mid 1800s.
I don't know.
They've been running. They've been running stuff since 1815.
The actual family of Rothschilds have nothing to do with what he's talking about. It's just a term.
The Rothschild family is the richest family on earth. They're worth trillions. Where are you getting this from?
I would like to see the individual net worths of the people that equal up to trillions of dollars.
I'm pretty sure Elon.
Elon Musk said Putin's way richer than him.
Is he a Rothschild?
Putin and Elon are both Rothschilds, is what you're saying?
Oh, I'm pretty. You don't get that type of money without actually.
Okay, so now we're one further level of extrapolation. Got it.
Well, okay. So getting back to the.
You think people make $250 billion and they're not cutting backroom deals? Is that what you actually believe?
No, but what I think with especially with Elon,
got $44 billion in cash to buy Twitter. You think common people can come up with that type of money?
But he was worth $200 billion
in stocks. In stocks.
So you sell the stock?
No, he didn't sell the stock. He basically took the stocks out as collateral. And
bro, if I had $44 billion, he's the first guy I would loan the money to. He's the richest guy in the world.
$44 billion in cash.
Like seriously, what do you expect?
It was a cash deal.
Yeah, but what do you expect him to get?
That's like breaking
the fact that he could actually
facility?
The fact that he actually could prove that proves that he. In 2010, Barack Obama gave Mr. Musk a loan.
Was it cash?
It was about $500 million. Barack Obama doesn't give people loans without actually having.
Are you talking about the U.S. government gave him a loan?
No, Barack Obama.
Barack Obama is worth over $500 million.
When he was running the government, he was.
Okay, so another extrapolation. Barack Obama is running the government and worth over $500 million.
No. Barack Obama would actually. Okay, let me explain how foreign aid works, because you guys don't seem to understand what it is. It's very difficult for politicians to steal money within
foreign aid's in the government.
Stop. It's very difficult for politicians to steal money within America. So what they do is they pretend like they're very noble, they're very righteous, and they have to help people. First, it was in Afghanistan. They used to send money over there, and it was a money laundering operation. They would spend $10 billion over there. $1 billion would actually go to the troops. They would steal the rest. That's how this works. And they do the same thing in Ukraine. Ukraine is a money laundering operation, because that is how the Biden administration under Barack Obama works.
If you can print the money, then why would you need?
No. The Rothschilds and the Federal Reserve print the money, not the federal government. The Rothschilds print the money. These politicians.
Then why would they need to launder it?
These politicians are out here trying to steal it because they're the puppet elite. There's real elites and there's puppet elite. Then there's plebs like us.
Do you understand that if you actually have $1 trillion and the federal government starts printing more money, that you as a Rothschild start to lose money because of inflation? That doesn't make any sense.
They print the money. Who cares? That's the Rothschild.
The
Rothschild said, I don't care who makes the laws as long as I print the money.
Okay, but who's doing the laundering?
What do you mean?
You said the Ukraine war was a money laundering.
Of course, it's a money laundering operation.
Who's doing the laundering?
The U.S. government.
Well, why would
the original thing I asked you, you said that $500 million went to Elon Musk directly from Barack Obama's checking account, and then you went.
No. I did not say his checking account.
Okay.
I said he's in charge of the government, and he gave someone a loan.
That's what I said. The government.
He's in charge of the government. He's in charge of the government, and he has to sign something for people to get that money. He's the president of the United States. He has to sign laws, and then Congress has to approve them.
Are you referring to the tax breaks that people got because the cars were electric? Is that what you're talking about?
It's all a money laundering operation.
No, but I'm saying, is that the money laundering operation? What I just said?
No.
Something else.
The money laundering operation, like when Barack Obama sent about $1.5 billion to Iran in cash. Why do you think he did that? Because he got kicked back 60% of that money. Barack Obama's a freaking billionaire. Barack Obama is running this freaking government under Biden, and he's basically making Biden look like a fool, because that's what you want when you have a shadow president. You want a weak president. Barack Obama's running the show. He's the one who installed Trump, and you guys are severely...
Obama installed Trump?
100%.
Is Barack Obama also a time traveler?
No.
Because he has children?
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right.
Well, actually, we don't actually know those are his kids, because Big Mike might actually have issues doing that.
Let's just follow the logic here. If that's true, if Barack Obama installed Trump, right, then what? Hillary must be really pissed off.
Oh yes, that's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Why would he not? Why would he not?
Would you like
Hillary
me to explain
Sure.
it? Okay, please do not interrupt. I know you're really good at that, but give me a second. In 2015, during the Republican National Convention, during the debates, Barack Obama only mentioned one person by name. That was Donald Trump. There was 17 other Republicans running: Rubio, Cruz, Jeb Bush, who was the leader at that time.
Yeah, I remember.
And he was the only person he mentioned by name. So what happens?
I see where you're going.
Stop.
Yeah.
Me and you hate each other. Okay, let's just say me and you hate each other, and then you start talking shit about me. What's going to happen? You're going to send all your haters straight to me. That's the exact thing Barack Obama did when he started pressing Trump. He basically propped him up. Now, why did he want Trump to win? Because, you see, if Trump won, Hillary Clinton's done. If Clinton won, she's in control of the DNC. She's in control of the White House. With Clinton out the way, he took over the DNC. Okay? So what you have to understand is James Comey...
So Trump was more controllable than Hillary.
You're completely off. Let me finish what I'm saying. When James Comey relaunched the email investigation in Hillary Clinton a couple of days before, that was the end of it. That was the end of Clinton. That was the end of everything. Comey would never have done something like that unless he had assurances from the very top. And the very top is Barack Obama. Now, what happens when Trump was president? He got kneecapped by the deep state with investigations over and over. So he basically needed Trump to get rid of Clinton. And now that Clinton's out the way, he stole the election in 2020 to basically have his third term through Joe Biden and what I believe will be his fourth term if Michelle Obama actually wins the presidency, or Big Mike, whatever you want to call her. So I believe Barack Obama is running this country. I believe Donald Trump was basically used to get rid of the Clintons. And I want to say this, as much as I have talked shit about Barack Obama for about 10 years, brother, thank you for getting rid of Hillary Clinton.
He watches.
Fucking vote.
He watches the show, so
if that's true,
President
then
Obama.
I will give you the
there we
applause
go.
for that too.
Awesome.
By the way, is it true that I'm just assuming this based on your birthday? Hillary Clinton's probably the politician you hate the most.
Oh man, the politician I hated the most. Let me think about that. It might have been Harry Reid, actually, who the fucking
okay.
That guy goes, "This war is lost." That guy's a piece of shit. For like, I'm literally
so listen to this.
I'm literally fighting a war.
Harry
and the guy's telling me
Harry Reid was born in a cat year. That car bomb that almost killed him happened in the rooster year. His enemy sign.
Okay. The thing is, with what you said before, I actually agree with the first part. I disagree with the second part. I think Barack Obama did it because he's arrogant. I think he arrogantly started trying to talk shit. So here's what I think happened.
He started during the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner.
So I think in the 2016 election, so let's go back to 2011, the Correspondents' Dinner. I think he thinks that Donald Trump is a joke at that point. He does. He could totally and completely
first person who said President Trump was President Obama.
Right, correct. But I think he does so to make fun of him. Does that make sense? It's almost like if I call my girlfriend president. Well, the thing is, it did get a laugh, and he did it at a Correspondents' Dinner. He didn't do it in his memoirs, and he didn't do it when he's doing a press conference. He did it at a Correspondents' Dinner, which is for comedy. That's the number thing. The first thing. The second thing is the entire media went after Jeb Bush and called him a Nazi. Then went after fucking Marco Rubio and called him a Nazi. Then every single
little Marco.
Yeah, all of them called
and canceled.
Yeah, he called them all these names, and then they just sort of let
Chris
Trump,
Christie's a founding moment.
Yeah, Chris Christie. They called him, whatever. They called these guys radicals, and then Trump was just sort of like under the radar, and then just sort of passed all of them because the media had made all of these other candidates not viable.
And none of that would have happened without Barack Obama propping him up in the very beginning in 2015.
I don't know that I believe that. I don't know if that's
but he didn't mention anyone else's name, and as soon as he did, all of a sudden Trump.
Because he's kind of he's a bully, and that was
I also believe. By the way, he's an ox, so yeah, they are bullies. But the point is, I don't believe Donald Trump would have been viable unless they indicted him. I don't think Donald Trump would have been a viable candidate again unless they went after him. They're propping him up again by doing all of this stuff. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Here's the funny thing. I agree with you that it actually makes him a more viable candidate because of this. I think it's going to
all done on purpose.
I think it's going to enrage his base, but I don't agree that it's on purpose. I actually think they're arrogant. I think I think the guy, the Southern District of New York, the African American gentleman, the
Soros.
Soros.
No,
not Soros. No,
Soros-backed DA.
The district attorney for the Southern District of New York, when he presses charges, I think it was really stupid for them to do this. And I think it's going to end up in a situation where it actually helps.
That's the problem. That is the problem. You think these people are stupid when they actually do things on purpose.
I work in the federal government. They're pretty stupid. I think they are pretty stupid.
Not the top of the game, brother. The top of the game isn't.
I think those are the most bought off people there are, but I think they're pretty stupid.
The top of the game is never stupid. They think 3-4 moves ahead every single time, bro.
I also think repealing Roe versus Wade is not going to help Republicans. I think it's going to hurt Republicans.
I'm glad you brought that up because I actually told my Republican allies in Congress, I told them, stop talking about abortion. Stop talking about abortion because that's what kept the Republicans from sweeping it because of the abortion issue. Now, here's what I think happened. Barack Obama knew this would be an issue. He has dirt on every single Supreme Court justice, and he basically made those justices overthrow Roe versus Wade. So all of these single mothers started voting Democrats. So now we only have, we don't control the Senate, where if that didn't happen, we would control the Senate right now.
I don't think anyone had to convince Clarence Thomas to be against abortion. I think that guy came out of the womb against abortion.
No, I get it about Clarence Thomas, but I'm saying the timing of it. They did it specifically.
You think Barack Obama blackmailed the Supreme Court justices into repealing Roe versus Wade?
the timing of it during the midterms. Yes,
I mean, because what would have been a lot smarter is if after the election had their candidate won, then like say Trump wins after the election, then to repeal Roe versus Wade.
No. You do it before the midterms because the Republicans would control the goddamn Senate. If it wasn't for it, the number one issue single mothers voted for in the last election was abortion rights. That's what galvanized them, and they knew it would. I'm telling you, guys are over here thinking
that's why they.
Yes,
I will agree with you.
You guys think they're playing checkers? They're playing chess over here, guys.
I think we agree on the result. I think we disagree on the reasoning. I think
I agree with the tactics and the strategy side of things because you got Elizabeth Warren talking about like what debt forgiveness for school loans, and of course that affects disproportionately.
Propping people up is something that has happened throughout history. In 1938, the German generals were ready to overthrow Hitler. Well, they were ready to overthrow him, and what happened? They sent in Chamberlain to give UK Prime Minister Chamberlain in 1938. They gave him everything they wanted, part of Czechoslovakia. All of a sudden, the German generals can't do anything. Hitler's a hero. They propped him up because they wanted World War II. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. They do things on purpose, and you think these people are stupid. They're not. They do things on purpose.
I think Chamberlain was stupid. I think Chamberlain was just stupid. Yeah, I do.
So every mistake people have made is because they're stupid, not because there's a higher power out there that are basically masquerading.
What's the higher
things.
power?
What's the higher power?
The Rothschilds.
The Rothschilds then told Neville Chamberlain to allow Adolf Hitler to invade Austria, then Poland, and then France.
Okay, let's break this down. Zionism.
Okay,
we talked about
Zionism.
that, right? What was Hitler's party called? You're a guy of history.
The anti-social. I'm sorry. The
National
Socialist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take the first two letters of National Socialism. NA.
In German or in
American? English. Because English is the dominant language in the world. So let's take the first two letters of National
No, it's not. Actually, it would be Mandarin Chinese.
I see. So we have Chinese
More
signs.
people speak Chinese than
we
they
have
do, English, but
we have signs in English, in American, in Chinese on the freeway. No, they have signs in English.
The most spoken language in the world is Chinese.
If you go to other nations, all the highway signs
there are more Chinese
English.
people than there are people who
America
sure
is the dominant language in the world.
English.
America.
Yes.
Sorry.
Continue. Go, proceed with your logic.
Okay. So, where was I going?
No, the Rothschilds manipulating the world.
And by the way, let's just point out one other thing.
Zionists.
Adolf Hitler, there was an attempt on his life also during, like, I believe 1943 or 45.
Oh, yeah.
There was a bomb. He was on the other side of a pillar, and it blew up.
1943. 1943 is the year of the goat. Hitler is an ox. Thank you for proving my point about enemy signs.
He didn't die. He lived. He was fine afterwards.
Okay. And the guy who went after him, do you remember his name?
I don't.
He was born in 1943. He was born in the goat year as well. So the guy who tried to kill him was born. They made a movie on him, Tom Cruise. I forgot what the guy, Valkyrie or something like that. So the guy who actually did that, the guy who actually tried to rise up against him.
The Rothschilds are pro-Hitler and anti-Hitler at the same time, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not trying to say that at all. I'm trying to say that there's elites and there's puppets. And people like Hitler, Obama, they're powerful puppets, but there's people above them.
Okay.
And the people above them will never see, will never hear of them because they don't want to be heard. They don't want, just like you said, you don't want people knowing what you have. You don't want anyone to know. They're the same way.
Sure.
They're the exact same way. The richest person in the world, you're never going to know what his name is. Unless I believe, it's Rothschild, but you're not going to actually see it in Forbes or anything like that.
Got it. Okay. You just think that they are trillionaires, but there's no record of them being trillionaires.
Correct.
Because they control the whole thing because they're Zionists and they control the media and the banks. And
I want you to understand there's a difference between Zionists and Jews.
Okay.
The Jews were getting killed in the Holocaust. The Jews were my people were being killed in the Holocaust.
Okay.
In gas chambers.
Thank you for Thank you for admitting that there was a Holocaust. I appreciate that.
Of course, there's a Holocaust.
Okay, good.
When did I ever say there wasn't a Holocaust?
No, I know you did. I know, not you, bro. I'm just saying you catch stray bullets from other places.
Now, I don't believe 6 million people died.
Interesting.
I don't believe. Now, if you look at the Jewish Star, it has 6 points. They always like that number 6 in the Jewish religion. I'm not going to go into it, but you guys can look it up yourself. But when I believe 250 to 300,000 people died in the Holocaust, that's my personal opinion.
That's a little nuts. That you think only that many people died.
Well, if you look in the New York Times, they said there was a Holocaust in Russia that killed 6 million in 1903, 1913.
Well, the Russians lost 25 million people.
That was in war.
Yeah. For sure.
That wasn't a Holocaust.
Yeah, but some of those people were captured. Some of those people.
The only Holocaust that happened in Russia was in Ukraine when Stalin and his Bolsheviks were basically starving the Ukrainians.
The Ukrainians. Yeah.
So that was a white Holocaust that no one wants to bring up.
Yeah, no, I bring it up all the time whenever
you're a snake. You're a snake.
Whenever Russia invades Ukraine.
When people are born in snake years, they're interested in history, like me and you.
So you think the Holocaust was not 6 million Jews; it was 300,000 Jews?
Yes, but I believe it happened.
Okay, interesting. I mean, because there's just so many accounts that show multiple concentration camps, and also these people are just sort of not accounted for. There's 6 million Jewish people that just sort of don't exist.
So
anymore.
let's go back to what I was saying. National Socialism starts with the NA. Zionism starts with the ZI. Let's add them together. NA, ZI, Nazi. So the Nazis and the National Social and the Zionists and the National Socialist Party basically made a deal, and there's a book on it called the Transfer Agreement. I encourage everyone to read that book.
Awesome. I just feel like I'm what's her name, Marsha Clark, and
I'm still wondering why would the Rothschilds want to do any of this? Why would there be some?
You're looking at everything through your eyes, through why you do things.
What else am I going to look through?
But that's the beauty of numerology and astrology. You can look through other people's eyes because you understand how they think.
Okay,
you guys are great at multitasking because you're threes. You're great at communication because you're threes.
Why?
You're also bored very quickly.
Why would they want to? Why would you want to start that kind of shit? Why would you want to? Why is it upon them to have societal change over the entire world?
Okay.
Why does anybody want to?
I'll try to answer this way. March 2020, I started saying on Twitter, "Do not take the vaccine; it's going to kill you." That was my personal opinion.
Sure.
Nothing has changed since. I believe that, but
is it the Rothschilds too?
I'm sure. I mean, think about it. If the elite. You can only kill about 100 million people, 150 million during war. You put vaccines in people, take out 4 billion. So it's a lot more efficient.
But did they kill 4 billion? You believe 4 billion people are going to die? 67% of the human population died at least one shot.
I believe the ones who got the boosters. Did you get boosted?
No.
Oh, why didn't you get a booster?
Just because I didn't see the need for it.
I see, but you trusted the government on the original vaccine, but you didn't trust them on the booster.
Why? The reason why is because there was a SARS-CoV-1, and they developed a vaccine for this. So this idea that this thing was completely untested, we already had tried to make vaccines for something very similar to a coronavirus like this. Coronavirus is actually, and the other thing is the coronavirus is very similar.
There goes my monetization.
Sorry, my bad. We won't talk about this anymore.
Okay, we're done. We're done with that.
All right, the whole point. Do final thoughts because
let me just finish this.
Good.
I went out. I got suspended over and over and over. It cost me money. But I still went out there and I told people not to get vaccinated, and I got suspended over and over. Why did I do that? Why do I need that for? It cost me money. Why do I do that? Because I needed to do that because I'm that type of person. The same way the Rothschilds are the type of person where they want to control people. If you understand numerology and astrology, it is basically advanced psychology. And my finishing thoughts. If you want to put money,
here's money.
If you want to do it for, if you want to do it for 100,000, if you want to do it for fucking 500,000, you can put up 30 people, 50 random strangers, and I will all read them like a book. As a matter of fact, bring all your girlfriends around. I'll read them like a book as well.
I have no doubt whatsoever that this would work on all.
You know what? I got an idea. I just had a fantastic idea. I'm going to get Mark Savo and Nikki in here. They do the man on the street kind of interviews. Mark, Nikki, if you guys want to take this challenge up, you're coming to Vegas at the end of May.
But it's mentalism. I have no doubt that what you're just going to say things.
So I'm just a smart guy and who knows how to talk, right?
Sure, I definitely agree.
I'm a little bit better than a good salesman. I'm a little bit better than a good salesman.
I think you would agree that you're a smart guy that knows how to talk. I think
we're both born in a year of the snake, just like me and you.
The thing is, I just disagree with this idea that somehow proves anything. What I would like is more tacit, like tangible things that we can look at.
I'll tell you what.
So how about who's going to win the Super Bowl, NBA championship, things like that?
Let's do this.
Okay.
I have a group. I make people sign non-disclosures. I charge them a lot of money, up to 20, 30K. If you're willing to sign a non-disclosure, I'll give it to you for free. And then you can go through my material, and then you can go to tell the world what you think. If you're willing to do that, I'll do that for you.
I'll consider that. Here's the thing: Do you have any predictions as far as like who's going to win the NBA championship?
Yeah, let's do predictions.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl? You said before you believe that you said that Michelle or Michael Obama is going to be the candidate in 2024. What other predictions do you have?
World economy, financial system resets in 2024.
So what does it mean reset? Are we talking about a 50% drop in the S&P 500? What are we talking about with the reset?
Oh, I think there's going to be a 20 to 30% drop in S&P this year.
That's not really
this year.
This year, you think it's going to be 20,
I think there's going to be a flash crash like there was in
20 to 30.
Like there was
Flash crash is not a reset though.
Well, if a flash crash goes down 20-30%, it can be.
Right, but
that's what happened in 1987, the last year of the cat.
Right, but it would have to stay down there. So
yeah, of course.
In order for
stay down there, it goes up and down. That's what the market is.
But for it to be a recession like what happened in 1929, like a Great Depression.
I believe the whole financial system to a point will reset in 2024.
So not crumble, but it resets.
Yes.
Okay.
Like a new Bretton Woods agreement, something like that.
Okay. So before December.
I believe that there's going to be a war within America and China, probably by the end of the decade,
with missiles and like airplanes and aircraft carrier groups.
Yes,
You think there's going to be a war between those two countries?
I believe it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen with two ways. Number one, either Taiwan, or number two, in Manchuria. I think the Chinese would be much smarter to go into Manchuria and take that from the Russians than they would to go into Taiwan.
Yeah, but we're not going to defend the Russians though. They can do that, and we won't give a fuck.
That's actually
the United States is not going to stop China from invading Manchuria.
You would be sadly mistaken, because the number one target is China, not Russia.
I agree with you on that.
Russia is hitting out its weight class. Russia is not a problem.
We agree on that.
But you have to understand how this works. The Visigoths and the Huns and the Romans were all at war together. And the Romans went to the Visigoths and said, listen, we got to take out the Huns. They all combined forces, and they took out the Huns. And as soon as the Huns were taken out, guess what happened? They went after the Visigoths. That's how it works.
But there's still Huns.
But what I'm basically trying to tell you is America would not allow the Chinese to have a port in Manchuria. I promise you that.
Interesting.
Okay, so that's a prediction.
That's a prediction.
That is a prediction.
Super Bowl or NBA championship?
It's too.
You don't know. You can't do that one.
Okay, can you at least give me the fucking Stanley Cup right now? Because I really need to know if my Golden Knights are going to fucking win.
I don't think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to win.
You fucking asshole.
Any individual predictions for Rollo or myself?
Okay, let's do that. 3-2, 3-7. You're going to start cutting off a lot of people this year. You're definitely going to start cutting off people, and you're going to start working a lot more this year.
I love you, bro. Don't leave me.
Oh, it won't be you. Trust me. I can think of a few names.
You're backing this guy all the way. 6 to 7. Right now,
October 5th, 1977.
So right now you're in a 3-year cycle. A 3-year cycle is about blah, 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 talking, running your mouth, meeting people out the blue. You always want to meet people. After your birthday, you're going to be in the 4-year cycle like him. Expect to be cutting people off and being more of a homebody.
Do you see how that's really generic?
No, it's not. It's not
really,
generic
because
the fact of the matter is, if I give readings for people for $1,800 for 45 minutes.
It's got 5 minutes. Come on.
Okay. If you want to do an actual reading off this, I will do it for you, and then you can go back and tell people how accurate are. I'm not going to bore people to death and do it right here.
I got you.
Okay.
I have not had Rich Cooper in my chat room in I can't even remember. Years ago.
Ask Rich.
Rich is in the chat right now.
Ask Rich. It was
shout out to Rich Cooper.
Ask Rich. It was worth giving Andrew $10 million just to promote his ass. But whatever.
All right, we're out of time. We got to hold up.
Can we do one more summary? Just go ahead and explain where we can find you and all this kind of stuff.
My name's Gary the Numbers Guy, aka I started GG33. Whether you believe in numerology or not, that is the group in the world when it comes to the occult. Here's what it comes down to. I want you guys to understand something. It doesn't matter what I believe, what you believe, or what they believe. The only thing that matters is what people in positions of power, the people who have the money, the people who have the wealth, the people who have the knowledge. And basically, if you look through history, you will see that things happen on certain dates for certain reasons. Start putting in the legwork. Put in the work. He wants to say numerology and astrology. I'll compare this to the gym. You probably went in there one time, did a couple push-ups. Oh, this shit don't work, and you gave up. The point is, put in the work like you do with everything else in life, and it will start making sense. I promise you. And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm the only person in my field.
The harder I work, the more I manifest in my bank account.
So my whole thing is, I definitely think you would have been the greatest goddamn defense attorney of all time. I think you really missed a calling there. 100%. You should.
Or a Baptist minister.
100%
right?
Baptist minister. And if you had taught a pickup course solely.
My brothers and sisters. I love you. I can do that too. I get it.
I think you'd have made $500 million teaching a pickup course on astrology.
I basically teach billionaires now, so it's okay.
That being said, the fact that you make money is not proof to me. To me, it's like very similar.
No. People who are worth a lot more than me and you hiring me to actually do stuff for them. And guess what? Those people. If you're going to call them stupid because they come to me or all that other stuff, or misguided, or all this other stuff, the fact of the matter is this: people who run things and have money, they have sway in this world. They're coming to me. I'm the only person in my field they come to. And at the end of the day, I'm going to shove numerology and astrology down people's throats whether they like it or not.
That's apparent. The thing is, I also know some very, very wealthy people who don't believe in that and actually consult with computer scientists and physicists and other people like that in order to get their information.
Guess what?
And they don't believe in astrology.
I get the last
talk
word.
to me, have they?
Good.
This is my fucking show. So
Amen, brother.
Here's what I'm going to say is that when we don't understand shit, we will apply our own imaginations to that shit. It's called metaphorical truth, right? It's like it doesn't necessarily have to be 100% factually absolutist, but if we don't know what it is, we'll call it vibing. We'll call it magic. We'll call it energy. We'll call it whatever. And until we have some sort of science that's going to drag it out of the metaphysical and put it into the physical, then we're still going to have as human beings, we're always going to want to find some sort of, answer in the stars or some bullshit like that until we can figure it out. At some point, we're going to figure out that this is bullshit or it's not bullshit, or maybe we're both right. And in that case, we pull it out of the realm of faith and we put it into the real world where we can actually use it. So hopefully you guys got something out of today's show and you can actually use it today. Thanks for coming in, first off, because you answered the challenge that nobody else has. You came in here, you put your balls on the line, put your money on the table. You came in here and you actually flew your happy ass into Vegas.
This is my second home. This is my second home. Exactly. Vegas is a snake city. I live in Florida, snake state. I base my life around this stuff.
Big
and the
ups
the fact that I'm successful is basically proof that I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who don't believe in astrology that are also successful.
Chase.
Amen.
Yeah. Sing us out of here. There we go.